There were times I was lost, dark had fear, couldn't see through the rain. In the end it were clear, hit the fan. I was more than one man who was there to lend a hand. Together we'd stand, always at my back, my guardian soldier. Team pulled together, united we conquer. Blessed is he who in the name of charity carry me when I'm weak, straight through the valley of darkness. Pitch blackness, the heartless, regardless, fear couldn't part us. Thick and thin, there by my side. At times we collide, but in the end we ride. Thick and thin, there by my side. At times we collide, but in the end we ride. We ride, 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 ride. I am my brother's keeper. Keep on holding strong. United we stand, divided we fall. Together we belong. I am my brother's keeper. Keep on holding strong. United we stand, divided we fall. Together we belong. I am my brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper. I am my brother's keeper.
Welcome back, Moto fans. We are just over halfway through the Aussie Supercross season, and we have got another great show lined up for you today for this episode of AUSX Between the Rounds. Before we get into it, a big thank you to our partners for this episode: Wonthaggi Motorcycles and Power Equipment, Fastline Suspension, Wolf Building Compliance, and the November sponsors of our Motocross and Supercross wall calendars, 443 Photography and Moto Cred. Keep an eye out because we'll be putting a call out for our rider support program for next year as well, and of course our 2026 calendar soon. And keep an ear out later in the podcast to find out a bit more about the great range of products and services our partners provide. All right, let's get into it. Joining me in the Moto Asylum again, Zane Mackintosh. Welcome back, bud.
Yeah, it's good to be back. A little bit shorter of a gap between returns this time.
Yeah, we went pretty long last time, mate. We'll try and not make it, a 1 a.m. recording this time.
Hey, it's right. I reckon we'll be okay tonight.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about Cronulla tonight and look ahead towards the AUSX Open, which is obviously a little bit of a different type of event.
Yeah.
It's part of our Aussie Supercross season, but it's also a bit of a standalone event in its own right. But yeah, just to kick things off, mate, tell me about your night in Cronulla and how that went for you.
Yeah, it was a pretty up and down night. A lot more positives than the first two. But, we had a few little bike issues that affected my practices and qualifyings. Some bolts come undone in my exhaust, which was causing me havoc in the practice. And then, unfortunately, somehow my breather hose on my fuel line got blocked and shot my fuel line off the bottom of my tank. So, it was awesome when the bike just fully cuts out on you on a Supercross track and just stops. So, thankfully, it was on the one small straight. So,
Not on the up ramp of the triple?
No, it was about 30 metres after. So, we got lucky on that one. So, cut qualifying down to 3 laps and actually half pulled myself together for the heat race and the LCQ. Missed out by about 4 seconds between 3 of us. Bit unfortunate. It stings a little bit to be so close, but mountains above where we were at the first 2 rounds. So, I'm hoping to put some time in this few weeks and really pull my finger out for the last one in Melbourne. Actually have a good dig and then hopefully carry on good form in Adelaide.
Yeah. We've seen some videos on socials and stuff of, old Zane Mackintosh flying at the test track. And I think you wouldn't disagree with me when I say we're not quite seeing the same Zane Mackintosh on race day. Yeah, what's the difference? Is it a confidence thing? Is it a bike thing? Is it a track thing?
The answer to that question is struggling myself actually. We're all kind of change a lot of things. No, we've first two rounds was hard. Had a couple of big crashes and things, and Cronulla we decided would just race the practice bike instead of trying to switch to a faster motor and a few different things. And that seemed like a lot better direction. I felt a lot comfier on the bike, so I'm hoping just a little bit more bike time and get a bit of confidence in me again. And I feel like we're definitely in the right direction for Melbourne.
Yeah,
show my old self and what I can truly achieve.
Oh, fantastic, mate. Well, it would be awesome to see you in the night show at Melbourne this year. Looking forward to it. Back to Cronulla. We went to Shark Park for the first time. It was another sold-out crowd. Great stadium for Supercross in terms of the size, the crowd, the vendors that it allows in there. But, it's perfect for that size event. But was it perfect for Supercross? There was a few things there that were logistically a little bit challenging. For instance, the pits was across the road.
Yeah.
Very busy road. So to get into the stadium, you guys had to
Cross the we'll cross the main street. Also at the slowest set of traffic lights I've ever sat at. I swear, if you were in like a slight hurry for your main, or like, we made sure we were leaving about 15, 20 minutes early just to leave that completely. But like, it's funny as watching, 10, 15 bikes and their mechanics rolling down the street. A little bit cautious with all the crowds, being able to access your pit 10 in your vans, leaving them pretty unsecured. But no, it was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, you didn't mind it? It didn't put too much of a spanner in the works?
Nah, it was a cool aspect. I kind of try and enjoy those little things, not really let it get to me. I thought it was sick, you're walking down the streets, high-fiving way more fans, and as a guy that's a big fan of the crowd, it was, I had, hundreds of kids asking me for my jersey as I'm going to the gates, like, trying to take clothes off the back of me. They're just like, can I have your helmet? I'm like, oh, I'm about to go race. Sorry, bud.
Well, that's something I wanted to talk about. But just before that, with the pits being across the road, how did that sort of affect the pit party? Because, obviously all the fans had to go across the road from the stadium.
Yeah.
I felt like the pit layout was pretty good for a pit party.
Absolutely.
But did that sort of impact the numbers, or were you getting a lot of fans over there?
We had a lot, like, we still had a great number, but as in, you walked, 100 metres up the other way. Like, we were pretty lucky. We're kind of close to some of the fan attractions and things that they were engaging to. So it kind of kept the crowd pretty, still full. But if you headed up to the factory teams, 100 metres up the road, they were packed to the rafters. So you're always happy to definitely get a lot of eyes strolling through. But yeah, definitely wouldn't say it was one of the biggest crowds that we've had.
Well, one of the things that you sort of touched on early was the crowd interaction with you guys. There was a lot of fans there. They were cheering you guys on. They were lining up, so you guys had to go through the tunnel and then along a walkway along the side of the track, and the fans were just lining the fence. The kids were all getting high fives. They were screaming. They were getting a chance to talk to riders. Like, there was riders chatting with them.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because, that's something I've said for a long time, and I feel like we missed the mark here in Australia, and that's that you guys should have the opportunity and be promoted as superstars of the sport.
Yeah, that was the most famous I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Like, you walk through that tunnel, you come out and the crowd is just blaring. There's people hanging over trying to get high fives. Like, it is sick, considering KO, like at the first 2 rounds, KO Stadium, you kind of tucked away, like where the start line is. You don't really interact with fans. You do when you go up to watch and things, but this walking along the crowds, like, I think I had more high fives in that night than I had in the last 20 years of my life. Like, it was awesome, and yeah, that was sick to see.
Yeah, and I can tell you now, because that's my bugbear as media guys, from the factory guys to independent guys like me. We were confined to shooting from the stands, which is a
separate topic.
A separate topic, but very frustrating. But one of the positives of that was we got to see very closely, the fans' response to the riders, man. And it's easy to get jaded a little bit when you're in the industry. You see guys that are 10 to 20 guys, and, you get a relationship with these people away from the track. And so when you're in that position, you don't always see them the same way that
you see
a fan sees them. Or a fan will see a Supercross rider. But, it was really nice at that event to see how excited these kids were getting. And it's a reminder that, it doesn't matter whether you're a kid on an 85 out racing Supercross, or you're SX3 or SX2, or you're a 15 to 20 guy. Like, these fans were just so excited. And it's a reminder that, when you're outside the industry and you are a fan, everyone out there is a superstar.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I actually, before one of the heat rates, I had to quickly run down to Coles, and I still had my gear on. And even just rolling through there, obviously some of the fans had started coming through for the pit party and that. They were looking at me like I was Ryan Dungey. Like, it was, I'm like, mate, this is like, you know what I mean? And because at a lot of rounds, you don't quite get that.
Yeah.
But man, was it cool to, like, that was one of the first times in a while that I've kind of, as a rider, was like, you know what I mean? You feel like the superstar, that the same way you look at Dean Wilson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was, yeah.
No, that's so sick. And it kind of feeds into a rant that I'll have a little bit later. But, I think that's the way it should be. And that's what we should be aiming for in Australia.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right. As far as the track goes, the venue accommodated a full-size track this time. And even from press day, we could tell, like, it was going to be a, quote, big track. There was so much dirt. It was more dirt than I've ever seen trucked in on press day. Like the mountain of dirt they had in there to work with was enormous. It was the same dirt that we had at Wollongong last year. How did you find the track? I think after Redcliffe you said that the track was a little bit smaller than what you'd been training on.
Yeah.
Obviously not the case for Cronulla.
Yeah, this was a lot better of a track. I think that was a standard of track I'm hoping to expect for the Australian size Supercross races. That track just flowed well. The rhythms were good. The sizing was, I feel like, a lot of a better sizing to race on. The soil was unreal. There was a lot of traction. It formed up well. It created good racing. Yeah, the track crew really killed it on the weekend.
Yep. What about the start finish and the triple? Like, we saw obviously a lot of the 85s. They were getting over it, but and a few of them come up real short.
Yeah.
They both looked like booters.
Yeah.
What were they like?
The finish, it's always a bit harder on a 250. You're kind of pretty safe. The finish was big. We locked that on track walk and we're like, this is big, but we're getting over it all right. But the triple was real. That triple up ramp was real sharp.
Yeah.
And the section before it kind of made it hard to carry any form of speed into it unless you were going that 3 out of the turn, which was quite hard. So those 85 kids weren't getting much of a run in. So, yeah, we're very surprised to see how big the finish was, and the triple was a nice booter. Hopefully made for some good photos, but yeah, I definitely can tell they weren't really accommodating for the 85s when the track was built, which is good though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, they shouldn't, as long as it's safe for them.
Yes.
They shouldn't be accommodating for them in any capacity, because they're the ones that need to be getting used to these tracks for
Correct.
SX3, SX2, SX1. Were you tripling out of that, that section before the triple? I saw some of the SX3 guys in the front were doing it, and it seemed way faster.
Yeah, no, that was way quicker. Practice qualifying, that turn was so beat already, just the ruts coming out of it. Wasn't quite getting a clean run. I had a crack at it in the heat, had a bit of a sketchy moment going into the triple and ended up missing the triple. And I just kind of was cutting my losses and going, checking up and going the other line just to kind of hit my marks. But yeah, stuff like that was a big separator on the weekend.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about in terms of learning the track. So, I never really thought about it too much, but Ryan Kohlenberg put a post about, 16 minutes to learn the track, 8 minutes for practice, 8 minutes for qualifying. It's really not a lot of time for Aussie riders, especially considering, we don't have that massive season. We don't have the big lead up pre-season. Like, you guys don't get heaps of time for Supercross. How hard is it to get ready to race a Supercross track in 16 minutes?
Well, I've ridden 4 different tracks this year. 2 of them have been the ones I've been racing on. You know what I mean? It's not like we're, the States, there's hundreds of Supercross tracks that everyone's getting to, you get to ride different tracks all the time, so you get good at picking up on a new track quickly. This year, I've only had the 2 apart from the 2 on race day. It's so hard to adjust quick, and, some of the times, when we're going out there for our practice, there's already ruts in the transitions, there's already, the tracks, it's not like you're coming in on a nice, fresh track. So it's definitely hard, and I think it's a little bit of a joke, the lack of bike time on total, considering how long the day is. But, yeah, I definitely love a few more minutes.
So, assuming that we can't change the night show because of the broadcast schedule and everything, so from, the time the night show opens at 6 p.m. onwards, but before that, what do you think would be a better format?
Well, I just think either, we've got a 6-hour gap, and we're there from 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. So it's a long day. So I don't know if, we either start a little bit later and get rid of some of the gaps, or if we smash out some of the junior guys. But there's a 3-hour lunch break where there's not a single person on track.
Yep.
If we just add 4 minutes to every practice qualifying, that's 8 minutes of class. It's only 32 minutes for the day. You still get 2.5 hours to prep the track, and that's, a lot more time, or I don't know. I definitely think that things like that they could add
So 4 minutes would make a big difference for you
Yeah,
guys? Yep.
that's an extra 4 laps. And what you like, the issue is like by the time you get the track down, like 4 laps is a lot. Like when you're out there, you know what I mean? You get an extra 8 laps.
Yep.
So yeah, even that would be massive. Like ideally, I'd say 15 minutes. You know, I'd be so happy with 12.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, if you break that down, so into an 8-minute session, say you're doing 8 laps, first ones, we'll talk about practice, so first one's under a yellow anyway.
Yeah, so you ran that to about 1:20.
Yep. We've got, how many lanes were there on that track?
There's 3 rhythm sections.
Yep, plus the start, plus the triple.
Finish, triple, 2 sets of whoops, really.
Yep. So if you were to sort of try to add a rhythm on each lap, you know, you just about run out of time before you'd put a whole lap together.
Yeah, so normally, like ideally, I have the track down and get about 2 full laps on ideally the fast lines.
Yep. That's a lot of pressure though.
Yeah, and there's like I had a big moment and thankfully got out of it pretty well, but I went for one of the triples because I knew I didn't have a lot of time, didn't really feel the comfiest with it, went for it, tagged, got a big kick and kind of jumped through the bars. Thankfully, got out of it really well. Bike was pretty straight and I was absolutely fine. But, you know, if I had another 4 laps, would have been, you know what I mean? You know that you don't have that time kind of in the back of your head going.
You just got to pull the trigger and hope for the best.
Exactly. So, yeah, I think especially with the SX3 guys, there's a few big moments.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you've got a red cross flag in your main rhythm section for 3 laps. You know what I mean?
Saw that in a couple of the qualifying sessions.
Yeah, you know, we had that last year at Melbourne. Like a lot of you ask how often some of us back at the like privateers, SX2 class of uncorked rhythms we've never done before the first lap of the heat race.
Yeah. Because
the track's finally fresh or this and that. Like it's pretty mental some of the times when you just like you've just got to sack up and you just go for it. You know what I mean? So
and unfortunately, I mean, the proof is in the pudding here. Like, look at the riders that are no longer part of this championship 3 rounds in.
Yeah.
You know, a Supercross is dangerous and unforgiving at the best of times.
Absolutely.
And I think, like you've sort of suggested, that little bit of extra time in practice and qualifying, it's going to make it safer as well.
And it's going to make it better racing. Like, I feel like because that's why those fast guys are so good, is they get that track down so quick that the gap between that seeded and unseeded is biggest in practice than it is in the night show. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting point, yeah.
You know what I mean? By the time, like, we're just getting closer and closer to them. Like, every round I've dropped 4 or 5 seconds from my practice to my heat race. You look, the fast guys only drop 1.5 seconds. You know what I mean? Because that's why they get paid to do it and this and that. But you give us some bit more time to do it. Mate, you think how fast that LCQ race is going to be going down? Like, by the time we all find our flow.
Yeah, and I don't think it would be a stretch to say that pre-season they've probably put 10 times the amount of bike time.
Oh, without a doubt.
As you guys.
I've put 20 hours on a bike this whole year. There's weekend warriors that have put more bike time on a bike than I have this year. Yeah. And I'm trying to race Supercross.
Yeah. So. All right. So what's the plan? What are you going to do differently coming into Melbourne, or what have you been doing differently in the lead up to Melbourne now?
Just intensity.
Yep.
Intensity. Like I've been riding good at home. We've been working a lot more with some witches hats, just cutting down this and that, and kind of like I'm riding the main line well, but trying to do a bit of work with just that cut down here, different lines, and just literally just trying to do less laps, but just as many laps as I can, as hard as I can, until I start making some mistakes.
Yep.
So literally just 6 minutes, like 6 lap sprints, just kind of, I do a 10-minute warm-up.
Yep.
Then the 6 lap moto just as fast as I can go. And then even if, like, I've just been trying to get comfy, not with it hanging out, but just, like, letting the rear step out here or kind of tag a triple just because I'm pushing.
Yeah. And then push through it to the next rhythm.
Yeah, that's the thing where, like, you can get around a track and hit your marks, but then to try and go fast is where I've been struggling.
Yeah. So on a race compared to, say, on the practice track, how many clean lines are you putting together, like, in a race? Are you tagging a bit, or is it a little bit, like, is it a bit looser?
Yeah, 100%. And just simply with what we were saying before, like, you're getting your eye in. Like, I've done, hundreds of laps at my house, like, in the thousands. So you kind of get you, like, you kind of really don't have to think about your rhythms. On the weekend, like, you're coming into the main and you're in the turn and you're making sure, like, you got to think about what you're doing, where your throttle is. Like, you kind of really think about stuff. And then if you tag something, because you haven't hit it 100 times, you don't really know how it's going to react. I think that's where the biggest difference is just being comfy and making a mistake and not letting it snowball, but still staying fast.
In terms of the track build, like, is this sort of where you think we're at now for Aussie Supercross? Because when I look back at, just a couple of years ago, and the lower classes, it's, I think, the more evident. At Cronulla, like, the 85s were jumping rhythms. The SX3 guys were jumping rhythms. If we go back a couple of years ago to, like, the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, in the grand scheme of things, one of the simplest supercross tracks, the simplest supercross tracks we've had in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And, I mean, when the 85s went out on that track for the first time, it was chaos. It was carnage. There was guys going everywhere. Has the level in Australia elevated, and is it okay to have that type of track now here in Australia?
100%. Like, the level has gone through the roof. Like, you think now, some of these 85 kids, this is their 9th Supercross race, or, they're starting to get nearly double digits. If it's their second year, they kind of know what to expect a lot more. They've done another pre-season. You combine the last 2 Supercross seasons, and I've probably done as much laps as, Ken Roxon's done in one pre-season for Supercross. Like, that's, in the grand scheme of things, like, our time and effort and everything that goes into Supercross is, a little bit behind still, because it's just getting bigger and bigger. Everyone, the caliber of riders are getting through the roof. The slightly bigger tracks, I find, are a little bit safer as well. Like, there's a little bit bigger gap between rhythms. So, if you go long or you go short, it's a little bit more forgiving. So I think definitely the weekend is an ideal track for Australian.
Yep. And because I feel like the track at Cronulla was almost like a couple of years ago, we only would have seen something like that at the AUSX,
Yes, very true. That's what Melbourne was normally known for, was being the bigger round, and they focused a lot this year on, even the way they've built the whoops is in, normally every round you have the whoops at all the tracks, and then Melbourne's this big set. All the rhythms are bigger, and it's normally nicer to ride, which the same as the weekend is 1,000. You ask every rider, they would 100% prefer Cronulla than Redcliffe, in my opinion. I think all of them would have said, like, it is much better track.
Yeah. We saw AC over, Adam Cianciarulo. I mean, I've been a massive fan. I have to admit, on press day, like when I interviewed him, I don't get starstruck very easily. Like, I worked for Sony Pictures. I've met so many superstars, I got to sing karaoke with Will Smith and have lunch with him and sit next to him at lunch, and, they're just people.
Yeah.
I have to admit, when I met AC, I actually I stumbled over my words a little bit doing that interview.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch those guys and interact with them at all at the event?
Yeah, so got to watch them cruise around because him and JB were in practice for the 450 guys, which is so sick to see. Unfortunately, didn't get to watch any of the press day stuff, but that was so sick. And even, like, AC walked past us, like, in the gate, like, he was walking up the tunnel to go out to go riding, and I stopped to stare and was like, oh my God, that's Adam Cianciarulo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Such a dude.
And it's just like, that's so sick. And I think as well, Adam's loved by everyone in motocross. Like, he's just one of them good people that so sick. So yeah, no, that was awesome. And
did you get to watch them ride when they did
they still rip.
So I've had a different opinion to some of the people I've spoken to, but, like, even when I watched it back on the telecast, I stand by my opinion. Like, we know how good JB is.
Yeah.
And JB has raced way more recently than AC. And I felt when they were going around together, like, it just, to me, showed how good AC really is. Because on press day, like, you didn't get to see it, he looked like he was struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's on a bike that Empire's put together for him. Like, it's not his bike.
No.
He's never ridden it before. And I felt like once those guys went out on track together, he was just playing with JB.
Yeah, well, apparently that's the first time he'd ridden a Supercross track in nearly 10 months.
Yeah. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah,
though?
yeah. Like, and there was the back rhythm, I believe it was. So they were going 2, 3 to the big, from memory, or 3 over a big, or something like that. And Like, the only person I'd seen do it was Dino, and Cloudy tried it once and tagged it, and AC just, like, cruised around. Just
that
off the
last
seat.
lap.
Yep, just, like, he looked like he could have done anything out there. And a lot of the fast boys looked like they were struggling a little bit with the ruts and this and that. And he just made it look so, like, it really put it back in your mind. You're like, oh.
How good he actually is.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, he's beaten Eli Tomac straight up.
Yeah.
He's won a motocross title.
Yeah,
like,
he's won a Monster Cup on a
Yeah.
450. Like, you know what I mean? He is the top of the top.
Yeah, no, that's how I felt because, I had someone saying to me like, oh, no, JB was waiting for it. And I'm like, no way. Like, you know,
Yeah.
JB let him win. And I'm like, to me, it looked like AC he was in a different league. And and that's not taking anything away from JB.
No, he's a 4-time Australian Supercross champion in his own right, like in recent years as well. Like,
yeah. That's anyway, we're going to see him back at Melbourne, which is cool. AC, yep. He's locked in for Melbourne. So
I heard that he was a big fan of the Australian crowd and really enjoyed coming over. So.
Yeah, so he's doing a family holiday. I think they're going up to the Goldie for a little while, and he's made a big family holiday out of it with him and his girlfriend. Yeah. Sweet as. All right. Well, before we get into the results, there was just one thing, and this is a bit of my rant. I've been a big advocate for the telecast in recent years and the improvements that have been made in the telecast.
Absolutely.
But I felt like when I watched the Cronulla one, it was a backward step. And look, who did we have in the booth? We had Hammy, JB, and AC.
Mm-hmm.
AC's just flown over. He's obviously done his research.
Yeah.
So I give him a pass.
Pretty well with the riders.
Yep. JB, he's fairly fresh to the broadcasting thing.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit of a pass, just a little bit. But Hammy, again, they went back to calling the riders by the number and not their names.
Yeah.
And nothing shits me more.
Like,
this is your job.
And what, he's done the last 2 AusProMX?
Probably, and longer. Like, they're the same riders. We don't have that many riders in Australia. And Trent knows the riders' names. Joe Stevens knows the riders' names. Cam knows the riders' names for the most part.
He gets a couple of little mix-ups.
Yep. There is absolutely, for me, no excuse for the guys in the booth not knowing every rider's name from, the guy that's on the factory team to the privateer. There's not that many of you guys.
No.
And if you stuff it up once or twice, that's fine. But, you've got to know the riders' names.
Could you imagine in AMA Supercross, you're watching someone who's mid-pack, they know everyone. You know what I mean? Like, imagine, you're watching, like Mitchell Oldenburg on a beta, and they're like, yep, the beta rider here, 49, looking fast. Like, what? No, this is, you're supposed to know that his cousin lived in, Victoria for 3 weeks and he's actually raced here before.
Well, case in point, like, how much excitement do they drive around the LCQ? It's like, because those guys that are in the top 10 of the LCQ that are on that bubble,
Exactly. And that's when all the family members are watching as well. It's like, getting your name called out on TV is sick.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and it goes further than that. I think, like, raising the profile of the sport and raising the profile of every rider that competes goes hand in hand. Like, how the fuck can fans be expected to follow the sport and know the riders if the commentators can't even get the riders' names right?
Yeah.
Like, imagine if every rider on the start gate at the Oz Supercross series was like a household name. Like, surely that's going to help sell tickets.
Yeah.
It's going to help build a fan base. And, sure, to the guys that work in the industry, maybe some of those guys are only 15 to 20 place guys, or not even main event guys. But, if you can build the profile of those dudes, they're going to get fans. It's going to build the sport and the profile of the sport.
And a lot of us in the 250 LCQ that didn't make the main, we did all of last year's Supercross. We do pretty much all the AusProMX rounds. It's not like we've just rocked up and won and done. You know what I mean? We're names that have shown up, many years now. So it's...
And as you already said, like, if Cronulla demonstrated anything and the stadium was the perfect setup for that, it's that the kids in the stands don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, the promoters, commentators, the media, I think we all need to get off our high horse and see this from the fan perspective.
Yeah.
Like those kids that were lined up along the walkway and outside the tunnel at Cronulla, like they were getting so excited to see anyone, wearing the boots and jersey.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's and it's in the interests of the sport to put every rider out there on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you've got commentators and industry people and media talking down on riders, I think you're actively sabotaging the growth of the sport, and we got to get past it.
Absolutely.
That's my rant, but
yeah. It's a rant that's needed every now and then.
Yeah. So, I think we are secondary to the AMA.
Yeah.
And they don't do that over there.
No.
So why do we constantly put ourselves in that position where we treat the stars of the sport? I think we want to be where they are.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And everyone complains that we never get there.
Yeah.
But then we also talk down on the series, the Aussie series. It's not as good as the AMA. It's like, actually, it starts with the media. It starts with the commentators. Talk that shit up.
Yeah.
Even if it's not true. Talk it up. Create that.
Yeah. Because if the fans think they're just as good as the guy in 20th place, it takes excitement out of it.
100%.
If they think they can do, you know what I mean? If they think at all, that's what makes it so spectacular. Is it's like, I could never do this.
Yep.
That, you know what I mean? As much as, we're all people and that, but having that little buffer of like, these dudes are superstars, takes us so far.
Yeah, we've got the opportunity to create that narrative, and we got to do it.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, that's my rant. It pissed me off again when you see guys, even like, and I can't even remember who the riders were, but they weren't even 15 to 20 guys. They were sort of 10th place guys, and they were calling the rider's number instead of their name.
Yeah.
It's not on.
Yeah, I think it happened to Jai Constantino, who is...
Yeah.
He
was a factory rider.
Yeah. And he's up there, good results. And it's just...
He won the LCQ or the
he won the LCQ.
Yep. Yeah, crazy. All right. One more thing before we get into the results, but it sort of feeds into the SX1 stuff. At Cronulla, we didn't see any CDR riders on the SX1 podium. So to open it up, factory team structure for those guys. Did they make the right call importing Nicoletti and Mitchell Harrison? Nicoletti went 7 on the night, sitting 8th in the championship. Mitchell Harrison went 4th on the night, his best result yet.
Yeah.
5th in the championship. Did CDR, their whole goal is to chase Honda and try to match them. Did they make the right call with those riders?
I think Tanti's the fastest rider on that team.
Yeah.
Was Harrison a step above where he was at Redcliffe? Absolutely. I think him, Tanti, and Cerberus would make for a great championship battle if Honda didn't have Dean Wilson. I still think Cloudy is clearly the second fastest guy. I think CDR is scratching their head a little bit and go, did we just waste some money? Potentially. But you think how big the fan drag and the media that Phil brings. Well, I don't know where you'd rate the trade-off on that, but I think, CDR underestimated. I think they thought they were coming in for a good second place in the championship or potentially winning it.
So I've heard that these riders, the imports, and I imagine the CDR riders would fall in that, are getting paid in the 6 figures to race our championship. That leads me to my next talking point. International riders, when they come over to Australia, obviously elevate the sport. They elevate our riders. They set a standard.
Yeah.
And they get bums on seats.
Yes.
But importing riders eats up team budgets. It takes up opportunities that would otherwise be given to Aussie riders in getting factory rides. So, as a compromise, would it be better if we, in terms of building the sport, had some sort of rule where, and this is what I was sort of thinking about, for every international rider that one of the factory teams brings over, they have to have one Aussie rider on the gate. What do you think about something like that? It helps build our internal sport.
Yeah.
And it also, keeps getting those bums on seats.
Yeah. I'm not saying that we shouldn't bring imports over at all. I think it still has its massive positives, but I definitely agree with that. I think that without Tanti, CDR's a US-based team. Like, they've got nearly more US riders than they do Australian riders with even the 250 class and things like that. Like, so I think...
And they're just following what Honda's done for the last few years.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Honda's imports isn't quite as big this year with the clash at World SX. But you go last year, I think he had five or six guys over, like, internationally. Yep. That's just taking rides. Like, if you think, just say, Phil Nicoletti's on 100,000, like, that ride could have gone to Dylan Wills, Luke Zielinski. Zielinski you wouldn't have even had to pay the bloke. You just give him a factory ride.
Yeah.
He would have had, the biggest grin on the planet. Like, does he put it on the box? If he has a chance to train full time, have that factory support behind him, factory suspension, motors, testing, even the confidence that comes with it, he doesn't have to worry about trying to get to the tracks, this and that. Does he put it on the box? Like, Hayden Malrosh, I think if you put him on that factory KTM, I think he cuts circles around Dylan Walsh.
Yep.
Like, wasn't far off it at Cronulla, beat him at Redcliffe, like...
And SX2, someone like Caleb Barham.
Seth Birchall.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, they're shredding. Jake Cannon's on a good gig there. You put him on Empire. Like, I don't know how factory Medi's program is, but yeah, like, I think there's a lot of, I think the Australian talent is now getting to a level where even just, you don't even have to pay him, or you pay him 30, 40 grand. I think that they'd be surprised at how well us Aussies will do.
Yep. And I mean, the reality is that a lot of these international riders that we're bringing over, they're AMA guys that are at the end of their careers. It's a generalisation, but I think that covers most of those dudes.
Or the real young guys, Tiger, Ryder Malinowski, that are just starting into their careers.
Yeah, correct. So, I think that sort of setup, and it doesn't prohibit the teams because they can still bring over two factory guys, but then they've got to run two Aussie guys in the same class.
I think
it helps us find that balance where we're still putting on world-class events, but we're also investing in the future of the sport in Australia, which I think when you're putting all your money into imports, that's the bit we're overlooking a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's when it starts. Then more riders have to, I feel like that's when the gap gets bigger.
Yep.
More riders are working, more riders that we aren't training full-time, we aren't getting all the resources into it. I feel like that's when the gap slowly grows again between the US and the Aussies, is when less of us get rides, and you know what I mean? I feel like that issue will start.
And as a side positive, like, it gives those riders an opportunity to work alongside, like, those experienced international campaigners as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
See how they do things.
Yeah. I think with Lux's, performance this year, I think a lot more 250 riders will start to come over.
Yep.
That are kind of on the cusp. Like, I see, like, maybe a Carson Mumford, or, like, not saying him directly, but riders like that kind of area, I think, that aren't quite making good money over there, but has a chance to come over here. Like, you think of financially what it's done for Lux, or confidence-wise, when he goes back to the States.
Oh, mate, yep.
You know what I mean? He's going to be on cloud nine. So.
Yep. Oh, well, I heard we were going to get maybe Voland over here this year.
Yeah.
Carson Brown.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some stuff like that. So, yeah, I think definitely with him doing well, I think a lot of the guys over there are going to start, like, 250 guys. It's not going to just be some of those factory 450 guys that are on the back end of their career.
Yep. No, that'd be very, very cool. All right. SX1. So, a little bit of controversy. Dean Wilson went 1-1, then...
Went 1-1, then 1-6, then back to 1-1.
Yep. So, we'll start off talking about the actual incident. So, Dean Wilson went over the wall jump, into the whoops. He skimmed the whoops on a Red Cross flag, which is what the original penalty was for.
Yes.
Then he appealed it because he
had entered the whoops.
Well, the marshal holding the Red Cross flag at the wall jump wasn't waving the Red Cross flag. So the first Red Cross flag he came across was halfway down the whoops, and he'd already committed. at that stage. That was his argument.
Yes.
So the penalty was upheld and he was given the win back.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that incident?
I back Dino on this one because if anyone who's ridden a Supercross track and been in a set of whoops knows, you can't really back out of a set of whoops. That's the last thing you want to do. I've seen a video where Dino goes over the wall jump. He lands. There's a yellow flag he passes as he enters the whoops, and then you see the clear as day, the big red cross getting waved midway through.
Yep.
At that point, do you argue and go, should Dino come off the wall and be looking down the middle of the whoops? It's hard to say, but once you're middle of the whoops, I feel like that isn't, like, he can't be penalised for that. Same way as if you're at the base of a triple and the red cross comes out, it's too little too late. You know what I mean?
But we've seen riders get penalised for that, and it's been upheld.
Yes, you know what I mean? Which
it's kind of like your bad luck.
Yeah. So I think the officials are going to have a look. They're going to have to come up with a system and be like, okay, and get it across the board even.
Yep.
Whether if you get done jumping red cross, that's it.
See, that's the way I feel that it's always been implemented.
Yes, because it is such a safety matter.
Yep.
It is.
It shouldn't be subjective.
Which is fair.
Yep.
I know another part of their argument was that Dean was the lane before where the injured rider was. I know that was a big deciding factor.
Shouldn't matter once the red cross flag is out.
Yes, I know, but I know that they were trying to say that the red cross flag was out too early, or not too early, but as in, they could have easily stopped him in the turn. But then you go, is there a medic in between the whoops and that rhythm? You know what I mean? So
and you can't leave that up to the rider to make that decision or say the red cross flag was out too early in the moment. Like once the red cross flag, because the whole point of it is there's a rider that maybe they haven't seen.
Yes, correct.
So once the red cross flag is out, it's wheels on ground.
Yeah.
Slow down. So the second part of that is, if it wasn't Dean Wilson, if it was you,
100% I would have.
Would the appeal have been upheld?
They wouldn't have even looked at it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have. I want to appeal. Don't worry, mate. They would have told me to keep walking. They don't. What I mean? They do take appeals and whatever and all that. But I think the win on the line
shouldn't matter.
I know, but it does.
Yeah.
It does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I basically feel that it's the sort of situation where personally I think the penalty should have been upheld.
Yes.
Because he skimmed past a red cross flag.
Yes.
Full stop. Now, saying that, I think if he was penalised, it was pretty stiff for Dino.
Yeah.
And I think if he wasn't penalised, he's got away with murder, so to speak.
Yeah.
There is no... Either way, it's shit.
But now this gives you, like we're saying, you've now got if another incident like this comes up, the rider goes, but Dean got away with it. You know what I mean? You've now let one by you've now let one by the keeper, really. You know what I mean?
You've introduced a grey area where you can't have any.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that I kind of...
Yeah, if this was for fifth, like if this was Dylan Walsh got done, no one would have been upheld. They wouldn't.
Yeah.
And as not fair as that is, I definitely think the win on the line. Not saying that there's any politics or just because it's Dean that they were like, Dean's got to win. No. But, and I will call Dean out on this, I don't like the way he behaved on the podium.
Well, that was my next question. So, two parts. Luke Clout's celebration after he was given the win.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but he copped a lot of flack about it on social media, like that it was over the top. I mean, he was super excited.
This is a guy who's been beaten by international riders for the last... Realistically, Uribe doesn't bring a US rider over. Luke Clout's a 4-time Australian Supercross champion.
Yep.
You could argue. Like, this win has been building. I think that win is totally within reason.
And he's been on the receiving end of bad luck like so many times.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if anyone who really knows how much goes in to get that win.
Yep.
And as well, there's a big bonus that changes with that as well. Like, that's not just... You know what I mean? There is a lot of money.
Yeah. There's another 15 grand in your pocket. Snap of the fingers.
That, you know what I mean? There's a lot to be happy about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Dino's reaction, I mean, we saw on the podium, Luke Clout congratulated him. Luke even said that when I interviewed him afterwards, like he went over and congratulated Dino. So he didn't say anything smart ass or anything like that. But yeah, Dino put the champagne down, put the number 2 plate down, dropped it.
Just threw it to his mechanic.
Just walked off.
Yep. I get it. 30 seconds, man. 30 seconds, you just got to hold it together for TV.
You're a pro.
You know, and then his video, like I find his video at the end funny, how he went back later that night and sprayed champagne.
Yep.
That's a giggle, but you can't do that after then.
Having a tantrum.
Yeah. I find, you know, and if he copped that on the chin, then later, it's a bit funnier. You know what I mean? But I think you're pro, just hold it together for 30 seconds. Like,
have your appeal, let the process play out.
Yeah, and shit sucks.
Smile and wave.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, Cloudy got one, he got lucky.
Yep.
Cool. But that's all it was, you know what I mean? Like, don't...
But who knows what Wilson's, like, win bonus is.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I mean? He could have just...
25 grand.
But again, just, you know what I mean? Like, just...
I agree. I thought it was shit.
Yeah, you got 40... Like, realistically, he's got 40 seconds.
Yeah.
If you don't want to spray the champagne, that's fine. Stand there, smile, hold up the... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
TV, you've just... Yeah.
And the timing was just bad. Cloudy went up to him to spray the champagne on him.
And he just was gone.
Yeah, and he put the bottle down and walked off. And I'm like, oh, that didn't look great.
Yeah. So...
No. Yeah. No, hopefully, he's had a talking to and...
Yeah, and I don't think that's come from any bad place. I think he's just but it just doesn't... Yeah, but it just doesn't look good for Australian Supercross.
No. Well, I had it sort of for later because it was 2 SX2 riders that I saw do it. Both factory guys, both had, less than stellar nights. And we've already spoken about how pumped the fans were. But saw 2 factory guys, both from the same team as Dino, go through the fans, as they come off the track. Little kids standing there, pumped to give them high fives.
Gave them nothing.
Straight through them,
yeah.
Gave them nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm nobody, but I'm calling that out. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like,
yeah.
Again, you're a professional. You don't have to love it. You don't have to be happy, but you don't do that to the little kids. Yeah. They're the fans,
If you work a normal job, you're not going to like it every day, but sometimes you just got to do it.
Yep.
Just keep walking. I'm not saying sign every jersey. Just put your hand out. Your mechanic's already got your bike. Yep. Just put your hand out, keep walking. If you miss him, you miss him. But don't just cold shoulder the fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get they both had shit nights, and Wilson hasn't really had the greatest first few rounds, but
it's definitely it leaves a sour note when you see it as well. It's it's not nice. And away from that, they're both great guys. They're both happy.
They are, and Alex is normally one of the best with the crowds.
Yeah.
Alex normally has the time of day for every rider, and I think. He's pretty annoyed considering he won the heat, was really fast, had a good first few rounds. Same thing, though. I think, you had 20 metres, 30 metres of where you just got to high-five a few fans and then you can go be grouchy.
Yeah. And the grouchiest man out there, Phil Nicoletti, you see him, his season is going, shit, he has always got time for those fans.
And I think that's, I expected better from Dino as a maturity. Dino's been in the game for a long time.
Yep.
Same as Phil, where the 250 guys are still a little bit younger in their career. I think are still a little bit emotions sometimes get the better of you. Same as I think fans, as a privateer, I will stand there all night. It's different, but I've had nights where it's been the worst night of my life. Go and give a fan a high five, makes your day better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're happy to see you. You're happy to see you. You're like,
And it's just made his whole week.
You know what I mean? That's exactly it.
Yeah.
He gets to go to school on Monday and show all of his friends the jersey he just got signed by all these factory riders.
Yep. So sick. So aside from the controversy, aside from the negative stuff, back to SX1, Dean Wilson's ride, we sort of said it on the last podcast. I think this is the best we've ever seen him ride in Australia.
Yeah.
Certainly even the best that we've seen him ride in recent years anywhere.
Yeah, I think...
flawless performance.
Yeah. He looks so good. So good. Scary good.
Yeah.
Like
he would beat even a higher level of rider, competitor out there.
If Joey Savacci was here this year, does he beat Joey?
I would say not if Joey was turning up like he did last year. Like if it was the same Joey Savacci from last year,
Yeah.
I think Dino's got him covered this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
Yep.
think Dino's stepped up that much that he?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree. And then you think Joey got 6th place in multiple main events in AMA Supercross this year. I don't think that gap. I think that gap is getting closer than we realise.
Yep.
Like as much as Dino put a gap into the other riders, they can still see him. You know what I mean? They can't quite keep with him. Cloudy was fastest still in qualifying. Like
When the race comes together, like Dino's just so smooth. He's going through the rhythms and he's just downsiding everything perfectly. Like we're seeing so few mistakes, so few errors. Everything is like clockwork.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference that I feel anyway.
Yeah. Well, because you look at Cloudy and he looks like he's going 120%.
Yep.
You look at Dino, he looks like he's going 85. He nearly looks Jet Lawrence-esque. You know what I mean? That flawless, could do it all night.
Totally agree. Cloudy, you know, another awesome ride. Just didn't have the pace at Dino.
Yeah. Yeah, but he'd be really happy with that rebound.
Yep.
After Redcliffe, I think he showed that he's getting closer. I think he needs to get Dean on a start on a track that I think as the night went, they started ducking to them little insides. I think Cloudy needs one of those nights where you can just rail, tip into some of the bigger berms, kind of bigger rhythms. I think that might lean to him a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I look, to be honest, I think that come, you know, the main event, the best Luke Clout still wouldn't have had anything for Dino the way he turned up.
No, I know.
And I think Luke recognised that even after the race. Like he just gave kudos to Dino.
I think that,
and he was happy with how he rode.
Yeah, and that's hard to do sometimes when you think, like, you know, because he still had a lot of hope out of Redcliffe. He's still a lot of the I can beat him, where I think that was a little bit like, oh, my best was really good. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yep. You mentioned him earlier, Aaron Tanti. So in the press day team manager conference, there was something that Craig Dack spoke about.
Yep.
Was how good Tanti is. Except from their perspective, he said, we just need to stop him crashing. He said, we've got to figure out.
Yeah, which is fair, because you think
100%.
even last year on the Honda, crashed out of the lead, I think, on 2 separate occasions.
Yeah, on the Cowie in America.
Yeah, that was
through the
massive.
whoops. Yep.
But even like you go, he was leading Melbourne, clips that tough block.
Yep.
Leading Redcliffe, crashes after the whoops. They're just those little mistakes.
Moto 1 in Cronulla.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's so easy to say. Like, I mean, that one I'm not going to put on him. Like, he come together with the other rider in the air. I think that was just racing, got really unlucky. Like, and it's so easy to say sitting here on a podcast, Tanny, stop crashing. But, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But I think Tanny was beating himself up more than the rest of us could ever.
Sure.
But
I don't know. I reckon Dacker will be throwing a couple of punches in there too.
yeah, he's probably keeping him just, you know, in the gut. Just got that. But nah, I think Tanty will really be hoping to put it on the podium this weekend.
Yeah, but I think it was a positive to walk away from Cronulla though with him second moto.
Yeah, third.
You know, at least he had a strong moto. We saw what he can do.
Yeah, and the first moto was coming through the pack looking fast and then went down really hard. I actually was surprised to see him get up from that.
Same.
That was nasty. He hit the ground hard.
Yep.
So,
yep, that was a big one. Hayden Melross.
Yeah.
You know, was in 4th, back to 5th after the penalty was overturned. Still another solid ride. You know, not the stellar performance that we saw at Redcliffe.
Yeah, still though.
But
so
you know,
good.
Yep. 7-4. You know, it's bloody good. Still sits 3rd in the championship as a privateer.
And he looks comfy up there.
So he should. He's done a lot of laps.
Yeah. But as in like...
But he's on privateer.
He's on privateer bike time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Privateer, like he's
working full time.
Like last year, he rode well, but you'd see that gap from third. Like, he'd start with them boys and they'd slowly pull when he'd finished 8th. You know what I mean? This time, the 4th in the second motor, like he could have done that all night. You know what I mean? Look, he's still challenging them, still holding them boys.
With a couple of riders out, you know, with injuries and stuff, I expected that he was going to get a fill-in ride, at least an offer of a fill-in ride. Now, he may just be, being humble or keeping it under his belt, but I spoke to him at the end of the night, and he said, a few teams had rang him to congratulate him on his podium, a few
That
people
was
he knew.
it.
But, no offers.
Yeah, I think.
That was a surprise for me. I thought, with where we're at, I thought he would be potentially on a factory bike, if not at this round, have it lined up for maybe Melbourne.
Yeah, but this is also the issue with Australian Supercross being so short. We've only got 2 rounds left. Do they put through the effort, or do they just accept their losses, as a factory team?
The cost of time and money of setting him up.
Yeah, that's now. And if, for example, he switches brands, what's to say he's going to be as comfy?
good.
You know what I mean?
Well, there's a KTM at the moment that's not out there.
Yeah. He's supposed to be back from Melbourne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, look, if Crawford doesn't race the last 2 rounds, I'd be a little upset, especially considering KTM doesn't have Fergo out there either. They've only got 1 rider in each class. Realistically, you've got the mechanics and the time to help a guy out.
Yeah.
And they're based in Sydney. Melrose is 3 hours down the road.
Yeah.
They went testing at his house this year for pre-season.
Yeah. It's a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, just, kicking the man ways down.
Yeah. I think he's got a pretty good thing going. Obviously, he works his ass off. Life would be so much easier if he was on a factory team and they just organised everything for him and all he had to do was turn up at the races, and that would be the main difference.
Because he'd probably still work. He just wouldn't have to worry about the rest of the shenanigans.
Yep. As he said, cleaning his bike at night, and getting everything ready, and because he said he was working, working days, prepping the bike at night.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is. Even we got back from Cronulla, it's 7 o'clock. By the time we left Sunday, we went to, a little sleep in, you get home. I had no choice, but, you get the light out, you got to wash your bikes, wash all your gear.
Yep.
I got work at 6 in the morning the next day, you know what I mean? There's nothing you want to do more than go home and just put your feet up on the couch.
Yep.
But you just got to get into it, And
unlike you, Zane, Hayden's not 21 anymore.
No. And he's got a kid he's chasing around and all the other parts to it.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to introduce to these podcasts as well was Mental for Moto rider performances. Yeah. So I think I've got to give these guys some more love. Yeah. So in the SX1 class, Liam Jackson, 10th on the night, currently sits 10th in the championship. We had this debate about Liam's potential in the last show.
Yeah.
He's top 10 now. Not quite an 8th, but still a bloody impressive night for Liam.
And he was a lot closer to those guys. I think he got held up a fair bit in that second one. But that first one, he looked good. He got a decent start, and I think he was definitely a lot happier with where he was.
Yeah, I think he was running sort of 7th or 8th.
Yeah, he ran 7th for a long time in that first one. I think he went 9-10?
9-9. It was 12 points.
Yeah. So I think he'll be pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, 9-9 for 10th overall. Bit stiff on that, but it happens.
Sometimes it happens. So I think Tanny going 20th, 3rd just nipped him.
Yeah, 3 of them actually on equal points.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So Liam Jackson, Joel Campbell, and Aaron Tanti all on 24 points.
Yeah, there you go. So.
Yeah, nearly got his 8th, mate.
Yeah, see? Look, he's close. One more pass.
Yep, count back. Yeah, man, that's that is tough. Cody O'Lone, we spoke to him on the last show.
Yeah.
Big improvement this time round.
Yeah, I think that was purely press day.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I actually jokingly saying that, I spoke to him. He's confident, with our short practice. He went out 3rd lap of practice, the whole track. I'm still figuring out where to turn left and right. Dial it in, you know what I mean? So
yeah, but did you hear what happened midweek with that? Daniel McCoy, what he said to
Cody,
yeah. He basically said, they went out repeatedly, and he was like, second lap, 3rd lap, you're tripling this rhythm.
Yeah.
Cody was like, no way, man, no. And he's like, yep, you're doing it. It's just, there's no compromise.
Yeah.
Just to prove to him that he can.
Yeah. Sometimes it's what's needed.
Daniel's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
he knows what Cody's capable of. They've worked together for a long time. They did Supercross last year.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need someone like that in your corner to just draw out that potential.
Yeah, sometimes push you up.
Yeah. So 11th on the night, currently sits 13th in the championship. So
yeah, I think he would be stoked with that.
yeah, I hope so. I mean, I've known Cody now for a few years. I've never seen him super stoked with his result. Like, he always wants more.
Yeah.
He expects a lot from himself, but yeah, he should be pretty happy with that, I think.
And I think he'll admit he's definitely not quite, like, he's actually, the way he rode on the weekend, you could definitely say he's a Supercross guy.
Yep.
But very new to the whole Supercross scene. I think he's adapted really well, and I think, he'll be pretty stoked with that one.
Yeah, especially when he's in amongst big dogs as well.
Yeah, exactly it.
Yep. Return of Mitch Norris. So 15th overall on a blacked out bike with blacked out gear and no number on his back.
Yeah, he had his second Supercross day at mine, the 1 weekend before, and he had barely ridden, and he was like, "Nah, I feel good enough, gonna enter."
Hey man, he looked rough.
Yeah.
Early in the night, I was just like, oh man, and he's running the Terminator hand, like he showed us the photo of that surgery where he got the skin pulled apart and the metal.
Oh yeah, he's
in
got
his
heaps of hand. Yeah, that hand was smoked.
Yeah, but it fully looks like something out of a Terminator movie when they were doing the surgery. But by the night show, he was
night and day.
Yeah,
it looked a lot comfier. He's already gotten I think he's already gotten a new suspension setting in, and I was talking to him yesterday. He feels way better already. So
yeah, and I mean, better for him having done that going into AUSX.
Yeah.
Than not having.
That was it. That was
I
think that was the big thing, that he didn't know where he was going to stack up, and he gained more from that weekend than he will on any practice day.
Yeah. Seth Jackson.
Big main event guy.
Mate, first year of Supercross, racing SX1. Supercross is, mate, you couldn't get anyone newer and greener to Supercross.
Oh, mate, some of the videos we have from his first day. Yeah. I so much respect for the kid, because, dude, to just stick with it. Like, there's so many guys I know that have trained Supercross and gone,
this is too hard.
Maybe not for me. Dude, man, all from a place of love. Man, did that guy look bad the first few days on a Supercross track. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But, dude, he just kept going out there, kept just ticking off laps, just getting better. Just any bit of information or tips you'd give him, dude just absorbed it like a sponge. And even still, like, every time we go to the track, gets better, looks better. Like, because that dude rips a motocross track. Like, So, and now with his confidence up, I actually reckon, it's going to be hard at Melbourne. A few of the extra big boys in, and I think a few people are back. So, it might be a bit hard for him to replicate the main event. But I think by next year's Supercross, he might actually be a legit main event guy.
Yeah. I have to say, one of the highlights of my whole night was just seeing the smile on his face after that main event and watching him high-five those kids, man. Like, if anyone felt like a rock star, it was him.
He was telling me he signed his first ever forehead.
Yeah.
He was pumped. He signed kids on their arms. He's like, signed this kid's back of his phone case.
Yeah.
Because apparently he come over the finish line in third. Like, he just come over after Cloudy.
Yeah.
So, like, all these kids thought he was a podium guy.
That's sick, man. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah,
like, that's
pumped,
so cool.
Yeah, pumped for that guy.
Yep. And just finally, a shout out to Bryson Cherrett. He crashed in quali in that far rhythm lane after the whoops. I saw that happen. He went into that rhythm like Dean Wilson. He tripled in. I was like, holy shit, Yeah,
the long legs.
Yep, looked amazing for the first triple. Took off on the second one, and I'm like, wow, he's flying, and then just exploded on the landing.
Yeah. I don't think he realised how well Dino soaks up that next three.
Yeah,
he went deep and just.
Oh, and I mean, even the way he crashed, like, you could see he hit his back.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a squashed kidney, a ruptured spleen, and some fractures in his back. So he's doing it tough right now.
Yeah.
So much love to that guy, because
let him heal up.
Yeah, he's a really good dude. I always love chatting to him, but he's privateer's privateer as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, Melbourne. for SX1, we've got a few rider changes in this class, so we're bringing in a few
There's
extra.
a few slow guys coming, isn't there?
Oh, those bloody Lawrence brothers again. Mate, just getting in everyone's way.
Oh, Liam Jackson is. Oh, I heard he's put out a hit list after Jet ruined his night last year. Just lappers in the way.
Yeah, and yeah, he's getting in everyone's way. Are there any other big names coming over for SX1? I have not heard.
Nah, it's just them two. There was a rumour Webb was coming back, but apparently when you're the defending champ, apparently you get to ask for a lot more money. Well, that's what I heard, was he asked for way more than what he got paid last year.
Oh, because he's the AMA champ?
Yeah, because he's now the defending AMA champ. And
Okay.
he thought that was a bigger, which you can argue it is.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think he's too fussed about it this year, where last year I think he just wanted to get as many races in under his belt. Like he did that. He did Paris. He did Geneva. He was doing so many Supercross races to get comfy on that Yamaha.
And he didn't have the greatest experience over here last year, I don't feel like.
Nah.
You know,
Crash could be.
Yep.
But he does love Australia. Like when he used to come over for AUSX, does like it. But I think now I think he'll have a few years in the AMA, and then I think he may even do a Dean Wilson because he does like it here. So yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Coopers being that. Like I think one of the big attractions of doing like the Dean Wilson and the Brayton type thing is because you love
Racing.
You love racing and you love that interaction with the fans.
Yeah.
You know, because the fans love, like, look at Tomac, look at Dungey when he came back for those last couple of Prime X things. Like, the fans love.
Yeah, Cronulla.
Yep, those guys at that stage in their careers, even if they weren't loved during the peak of their careers.
They are so much loved now.
Yep, there's just something about a rider there's that underdog element to it, but they've come back, they're a bit older.
Yeah, there's a little bit more respect for them.
Yep. Yeah, they're out there and they're obviously doing it harder, competing against younger guys. So this WSX clash, it obviously clashes with our final round in Adelaide, but I think it's prohibited a lot of the international riders from riding the AUSX Open.
I was curious on the ruling, does Savachi now race? If he's got a race in Gold Coast the weekend after for Urive.
Yep.
Does he race? Does Shane race? Does Christian Craig race? I doubt Christian Craig's racing because they would advertise the hell out of that.
Yep.
I
don't think so.
No.
I don't think any of these guys are racing.
But, why not? But, as a privateer, that would suck if 6 guys come over.
Yep.
Because
there was bad blood between WSX and Adam Bailey when he left at WSX.
So much.
And from my understanding, this clash was deliberate.
Oh, it was.
On the part of WSX to basically
steal the crowd.
Oh, yeah, and the riders.
Yeah.
And I don't know this for sure, but I can imagine with riders like Deegan, those big names, because like they're over here already. I would not be surprised if they've signed agreements that if, to race the Aussie round of WSX, they're not allowed to race.
Well, Deegan,
the domestic series.
Yeah, that I wouldn't be surprised. I know Deegan wanted to race AUSX.
Well, he put a post out 4 weeks ago saying, Australia sounds good. I've got a lot of fans in Australia, so you might see me there.
Yeah, and then he's obviously doing the Australian World SX.
Yep.
But I know he did, and apparently the Lawrence brothers don't like how big of a draw Deegan is. Centre of attention kind of thing. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if...
I cannot in any way, shape or form see that Deegan would intimidate them on a business level, on a riding level.
No, but I think on a draw crowd, like you think every rider under the age of 12 watches YouTube, you know what I mean? They're like Chase.
But they're partners in the series now, 50% partners in the series. So, all right, arguably they sell another, 15,000 seats because, part of Marvel is closed off already.
Yeah.
Is it now? Marvel Arena.
Yeah, it's Marvel. Yeah, it's capped at 52,000, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think they've opened up that many seats for Supercross. They would be able to sell however many seats are in that joint. If Deegan comes over and goes head-to-head in the 450 class with the Lawrences, or even against Cole Davies in SX2, that will be the difference. They would be able to sell out every seat in that joint.
I reckon they would. Absolutely.
So I mean, and they're smart, mate.
Yeah.
Dazzy's smart. I could not see them not allowing Deegan to come over.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't pay him what he wants.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a factor.
That could be fair.
They're definitely not stopping him from racing, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you raise a great point on that.
I'd be super, super surprised.
Yeah.
Maybe we can ask him. You know, maybe Jet's
Yeah,
just
I'll pull him aside for a chat.
Jet's intimidated because
Yeah.
you know Deegan's the next big.
Nah. I'll get him on my day in the life. I'll ask Jet, pull him aside and go, hey mate, you know, I heard you're intimidated for when I step up for the 450 class. Is this the same? Because you know they're paying me big bucks to stay on the 250. I'm not supposed to talk about this, but yeah, they were scared. So.
That's classic.
Yeah.
And well, one big name that we are going to see back in Melbourne in the SX1 class, which I am super stoked about, Justin Carafa.
Yeah, what a man.
Yeah.
What a man. So.
Yeah, I've had him on the podcast. Great guy, vet rider.
Yeah.
Did well at the Vet Nationals.
Yeah.
At Coolum
Few years
2 years ago. Obviously has ridden Supercross in the past.
We were actually talking today.
Yep.
He raced a Supercross at Turin in 2005. It was his debut 250 Pro race in 2005, and he was leading. Ended up crashing and breaking his wrist.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's been around the Supercross game for a while.
Yep. And I've already got him locked in for a
Pod?
For a pod after Melbourne, and he
Yeah.
reckons he's going to win the LCQ. That's his.
That's his goal. Yeah.
So saying that, I mean, if he's feeling comfortable, if he gets a good start, he
Very
might
possible.
not go to the LCQ.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, actually, with the extra riders, the 2 extra riders.
Yeah, I think I definitely think you'll see him in the LCQ.
Yeah, that's going to be a tall task.
Well, with the 2 extra riders, there is an extra 2 gates.
Oh, true.
Do they go to the heat? You reckon 7 and 7, or do you reckon go 6, 6, 8 from the LCQ?
They won't do 8 from the LCQ.
That'd be
it'll be
mental.
7.
Yeah, 7, 7, 6, oh.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be mental.
Yeah.
Because that LCQ would be...
There's going to be some sick riders in that LCQ.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, on top of that, anyone has a bad heat, they're going to be in there as well.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be cool. Melbourne's going to be sick. I would have liked to have seen some, like 1 or 2 more internationals just to mix it up. You know, like a Cooper Webb style.
Yeah, because you do, even as good as Dean has been, I don't think he touches the Lawrence brothers.
No, I mean, no.
You know what I mean?
He's at 15th place guy in the US.
Yeah, like I think that's
realistically, he's getting lapped by the Lawrences in the US.
correct. Yeah.
That's you know, and that's not taking anything away from him.
No, not at all.
Just
that's just how it is.
Yep.
One thing I am so curious to see where Cole stacks up.
But he's racing SX2, isn't he?
Yeah, still, as in like,
Yep.
in that SX2 class.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick break, then we'll come back with SX2, and we'll also get our first of the riders on the line, who tonight will be SX2 rider Brandon Steele. Yo, we hope you're enjoying the show. Here at Mental for Moto, we can only do what we do because of the sponsors who support us. So please stay tuned for a couple of brief ads and make sure you show these legends some love. Are you getting arm pump, fatiguing after just a few laps, or feel like you're often fighting against your bike? Today's motorcycles have been designed and built to suit a broad range of riders, conditions and riding styles. This one-size-fits-all approach, however, means that when it comes to your own riding, your bike is often not handling and performing at its very best. Whether you're a weekend warrior or an elite level racer, Fastline Suspension will help you unlock your riding potential by ensuring your bike is set up perfectly for your specific needs. And with the right setup, you're guaranteed to go faster, fatigue less, and ultimately have more fun riding your motorcycle. So what are you waiting for? Contact Adam at Fastline Suspension now. Fastline Suspension, set up for maximum performance, precision tuned for you. Whether you're out on the road, playing in the dirt, or on the water, Wonthaggi Motorcycles and Power Equipment have got you covered with their great range of motorcycles, marine and outdoor power equipment. Servicing South Gippsland for over 25 years, their friendly and knowledgeable staff pride themselves on being able to deliver the highest level of service. Stocking a full range of Kawasaki and Honda off-road, dirt and adventure motorcycles, kids bikes, ATVs, riding gear, consumables and hard parts, Wonthaggi Motorcycles and Power Equipment are your one-stop shop when it comes to having fun. The warmer months are nearly here, and there's nothing more refreshing after a day at the track when you're sweaty, grimy and exhausted than taking a dip in the pool. Southeast Pools specialise in building high-quality fiberglass and concrete swimming pools across the Peninsula and Gippsland region, and offer a range of designs to suit every lifestyle, yard size and budget. So pick up that phone, give Trav at Southeast Pools a call today, and be ready to take the plunge this summer. At Mental for Moto, our mission is to give the unsung heroes of Aussie motocross a voice. From grassroots racing right through to the biggest events in the country, sharing the stories you won't hear anywhere else. From the privateer chasing the dream, to the junior rider who is pushing for their first win, the mechanic who works late into the night to get the bike ready for race day, to the track builder who turns a pile of dirt into a work of art. This is the beating heart of our sport. We're able to bring these stories every week to thousands of Aussie Moto fans thanks to the generous sponsors who share our vision. If you're interested in the advertising packages that we have available, or just want to show your support, please check out our website, www.mentalformoto.com/partnerships, and we can tailor a package to suit your needs. Now, let's get on with the show. Okay, SX2, the little big boy class.
What a class.
What a class.
Good racing.
Good racing. Lighter numbers than we saw at rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah, we're not that good at staying healthy.
No, and man, this is the class that I think definitely has the highest attrition rate. Like, who's out since the first 2 rounds? You got Shane Mackintosh because he's doing WSX and had a shit first 2 rounds, so he's bailed.
Connolly's still out.
Yep, Connolly, Fergo.
Yeah.
Reed Taylor.
Yeah, he's out.
Jack Byrne, he's not coming back. Not this year. Sam Larson.
Sam Larson out. Goulet out.
Yeah, Goulet, he's doing Indian Supercross.
Yeah, eating some curry with Mossy.
Yeah. Oh, Mossy, mate. We didn't talk about Mossy.
Oh, he wasn't.
He's too injured to ride in Australia. Goes out and wins
Weird
Indian Supercross League.
We just finished talking about SX1. You see, you just got a ride with Bud Racing for Gold
World
Coast.
Supercross?
Yeah. That guy.
Yep. It's he stuck the knife into Empire with Indian Supercross League and then just twisted it.
Oh, yeah. It's just gone.
Yeah, with another rider, WSX. So we're going to see him in Melbourne?
I don't even know anymore.
I don't think we will.
He's been riding in New South Wales on a Cowie, on an Empire Cowie.
Oh, he's still got a bike.
Yeah.
He just hasn't given it back.
No, they've been trying. He hasn't answered. He's got 43 missed phone calls from Tyson.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, well.
Yeah. You could have bought one with that prize money from the Indian Supercross.
I reckon. He probably could have bought 3, 4, 5.
He's done well. He's on green across all 3 as well.
Yep. Counting the green, on the green.
Yeah, just stacking it.
Yeah, whether you're riding or not.
Yeah.
It's going to be, that's going to be one interesting to see whether he lines up in Melbourne.
Or
whether his hip's giving him grief again.
Yeah, I heard his foot's flared up, stubbed his toe.
Yeah, on his wad of cash, his pile of cash.
Yeah. His wallet's too big and it's hurting his back.
All right. SX2. Battles. Turner and Kingsford.
Yeah, the only 2 riders to put 2 good motos together.
True that.
Yeah.
True
the
that.
Yamoy boys looked so good as well. They were fast.
I think that was one of the best battles I've seen in Supercross in the last couple of years.
Even the first one.
Yeah.
When Lux couldn't get him, they gapped everyone else.
Yeah.
Just gone.
Yep.
And then the second one, Lux's cut down. That was good racing.
That was probably one of the best passes I've ever seen in Supercross. Certainly in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And in Aussie Supercross, that was Jet Lawrence-esque.
Yeah.
You know, when he fires up.
Yeah, even the commentators, you hear them just and he's made the, you know what I mean?
Just the drive, that was full commitment, the drive off the start finish.
Yeah, and then he got side by side, but he's on the outside, so you're like, oh yeah. The way he just sat into that turn and turned down.
Yeah.
Through the ruts and just come out.
So we had a little discussion before we started recording. So from where I was standing, and even from the telecast that I saw, that looked so clean. But apparently they made contact.
Yeah. He just clipped his front wheel and fully shut the front door. I think Ryder was holy shit, yeah, like, yeah, right.
Intentional?
As in, I think he mean to shut the door. I
Yep.
don't think he.
Yeah, he didn't try to take him out.
No. I think he was racing hard.
Yep.
But he could have stayed left and hit the whoops on the left hand side.
Yeah.
But I don't think he wanted to leave it to chance.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
fair.
Especially, I guess, after the first moto.
Yeah, left. Left some, and like that would have. That's for the overall.
Yep.
Like, because if Ryder holds on to that, he takes the day. So yeah,
Sick racing.
yeah.
Cole Thompson on the Empire Cowie back for Cronulla and the
Melbourne.
upcoming round at AUSX.
Yeah, he looked good. Had a great second moto. First moto went down with Barham early. Struggled to come through the field though. It's kind of slow because him and Alex got up together, and I'm pretty sure Alex got through a little bit better than he did from memory.
Teething issues with the bike?
I don't know. I think
Because I think he's better than that
yeah,
as a rider.
yeah. I think as well. I think that top intensity that Ryder and Lux had just pushing the bike.
Yep.
Don't think he quite had. Like Cole Thompson's flawless to look at, hits all his marks, but that pure twist the throttle that little bit harder, like Lux's commitment, like that pass. Don't see Cole making that happen. You know what I mean?
So Cole Thompson from last year on the Honda, would he have run that pace? I don't think so. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think Cole. It's hard to say. Like, I feel like our gauge of fast this year is so up and down.
Yep.
Like, no Shane, no Brody. Kingsford was fast last year, but what? I think he got one podium.
I think consistency is Kingsford's, kryptonite though.
Yeah. But as in, like, the main three, Cole now on a different bike. Did he get better and just Kingsford and Lux are just quicker? Or
Larwood was on podiums last year, so I think,
yeah, good point.
I think that the speed is probably
Pretty similar to where it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, if you had have asked me at the start of this season, would Lux Turner be as fast as McElrath was last year? I
No.
would have said no, but I think he is.
Yeah. Saying that, McElrath was there, would he have a little bit bigger style track? Does he put on a clinic? We'll never know, but I feel like he would have been a lot more dominant than what he was at Redcliffe on a track like how it was.
Yeah, I mean, he has the advantage of he's an AMA SX2 champion from years gone past, and he has the benefit of experience.
Yes, absolutely. Been there, done that, knows what it takes.
Yeah, this is a very young SX2 field at that
the
point.
youngest it's been in a while.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, it was kind of the older guys that just weren't moving on. And then some of them...
McElrath.
Yeah. And still some of them now stepping back. Wilson Todd.
Yeah.
But... yeah, Kingsford's a year younger than me.
Yep.
Kingsford's 20. Not a clue how old Lux is. I think he's 20 as well.
Yeah, he's young.
Tiger's young. Tiger's 18.
Yep. I don't think Lux would be much older than that.
Nah, I think he's that 19, 20 age.
Yeah.
Tiger's young. Larwood's a year older than me, so he's 22.
Still young.
Yeah, them boys are young.
Jace Cosford.
Young.
Jake
Seth
Cannon.
Birchall, Jake Cannon,
Yeah,
Byron Dennis.
Reece Budd's 42, so...
Yeah, he's old. Nah.
How old is Reece Budd?
He's
been around for a little while. But
last year juniors 2018. So whatever the math is on that.
yeah, you're right.
It's
Jeez, mate. And the further down you get, it's not like these young guys are overtaken. Byron Dennis, Seth Birchall's just come up from SX3. Travis Olander's young.
Jake Cannon just stepped up from SX3.
Yep. Jai Constantino, he's like the veteran of the class.
Yeah. And he's coming off a few years off nearly.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Caleb Goulet, still fairly young, like the whole way down the list.
Yeah, you're right. It's a very, very young class.
Yeah. And you think we're just about to get the top SX3 guys that step up. You know what I mean? I think the MX2 class is in a good spot for the future.
Yeah. And I said on a podcast with you last year, in terms of on a comparative level to an international standard, I felt like SX2 in Australia was the weakest class,
Yeah. I think in a few years' time, it won't be.
Yeah, but I still think at the moment, like, we've got 13 factory riders in SX2.
Mm.
I think this year is still stronger than it was last year.
Yeah.
And come Melbourne, we'll probably have a few more riders in there that'll...
Yeah, spice things up.
Yep. And if we hadn't had that attrition rate, if Fergo, Reed Taylor, Jack Byrne...
All young, Connolly.
Yep, Connolly were in there, man. This would actually be a stacked deep class.
Yeah.
So, I think what I said last year doesn't really apply anymore, except for that we've got, a couple of injuries.
Yeah. And I think as well, with the old boys in the 450 class finally stepping away, Todd, Meddy, Gibbsy, Colonies last year, it's allowed people to step through and allowed the MX2 guys to flourish.
Yep. Yeah. But like you said, I think SX2 in the next few years, SX3 is so strong.
Oh.
So deep.
Ridiculous.
When those kids mature and get to that age where they're stepping up, next year there's going to be so many of them, like your Jet Allsops and your Deegan Rose, and, there's just so many of them that are going to be stepping up.
But you think even, you can go again, you go 3-4 years down the track, you got Blake Bohannon, Lewis Carafa, all them kids when they're SX3.
Yeah.
Lewis Cannon, them, Ollie Burke, all of them. All of them.
If you look at the current SX3 class, most of those guys cut their teeth in SX3.
Yeah.
There's not many there that we're like...
Well, because we had the COVID years, they missed that window. I was the end of the 85 class. You know what I mean? Kingsford got 1 year.
Yeah.
But everyone else, Kingsford and Brad West, they were the only two that really did it on 85s. Everyone else kind of didn't.
Learn on SX3.
Yeah, everyone just learn on big bikes.
Yeah. Alex Larwood's crash.
Oh, my God.
Freestyle Supercross.
Yeah. I think that's the first ever barrel roll. Not quite to wheels, but, the old front flip 360 that, Jacko Strong used to do back in the day.
Yeah. I would love to know, and I got to ask him, if I get a chance at Melbourne, did he see that coming?
Yeah. So I've spoke to him.
Yep.
He thought he was high-siding into that up ramp.
Into the up ramp?
Yeah.
Not over the top of it?
No. He come out, was losing it, thought he was just going to wash under it, and then it stayed going, and he thought it was going to just bite and high side into the face, and then it didn't bite, and then he kept going up into it, and then it bit, and that's how he just got the flip over. But he doesn't reckon, it happens in a blink of an eye.
Of course.
But he reckons it was so slow, the front wash.
Yep. So he knew it was coming. That was my question.
Yeah.
Right?
He come out and it just started going. Because that turn, people don't realise, that was so slippery. So we were all cutting down out of that turn real hard into the finish. And it was just getting, the rear was stepping out heaps.
Yep.
And then he went the real wide line. And as you, turn out of the turn into the flat, it just was hard pack and slick. And because the rest of the track was so tacky, it was catching you off.
Well, I did notice that basically there was a lot of guys, even on the big bikes, so SX3 and up, that it was like they were coming out of that corner and getting wheel spin.
Yeah.
And then struggling to make it over.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. And the perm, everyone was kind of just cutting down to get straight for the finish. Because the finish had ruts on the up ramp, so no one really wanted to hit it turning. You know what I mean? You kind of wanted to get straight for them. So, yeah, everyone was kind of stopping and then getting straight. And I don't know why that bit was hard. It was the only bit on the track that was actually, really hard. And, yeah, you kind of just spin up a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then walks away and rebounds with a heat race win.
But definitely, he walked away unscathed, but he was definitely a bit beaten up.
Yeah. He still hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
And the bike kind of landed on him a little bit, and
still nasty. Yeah,
still would have felt that Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, difference in SX2 when I noticed looking at the results, the privateers are way down the pecking order in this class.
Yes.
We've seen in SX3 and SX1, there's privateers mixed in with the factory guys.
Way,
yep. Some privateers that are doing really well.
We've already listed a lot of them.
Yeah, like Melrose is the example there.
Yeah,
he's in
even
a podium position.
Yeah, Zelensky unfortunately went down.
And this may be a different tale with Caleb Barham if, that night had gone a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But definitely on the way he's riding. But, that said...
Jake Cannon and Seth Birchall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Jake Cannon, yeah. If you...
But, they're like satellite teams.
I was going to say, Jake Cannon, I'll call that a privateer team, but that's probably as least privateer as you could get.
Yeah. Well, he's not in the privateer.
Is
he in the privateer standings? The MX
No.
Store one? No. So they don't recognise him as a privateer.
So he's obviously getting paid.
Yes.
So he's racing for Go 24.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. All right. So using their thing, top privateer then would be
Birchall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, that's fair because he works full time. So I feel like that's a good gauge. If you have to work,
and he's not getting paid by WBR.
no,
so
I feel like I like that. Barham, I don't know. Yeah,
he's on the privateer list.
Yeah, I don't know if he works though. I don't know what his scheme is back home.
Well, Seth Birchall, 11th at Cronulla. He's the top finishing.
4th in the first medal, was that? 5th? I think.
Seth Birchall, 4th.
4th, yeah. He had a great first moto.
Yep.
Big crash in the second one.
Yep.
But yeah, that was pretty sick to see.
Definitely. Definitely. No, definitely shout out to him. What happened to Caleb Barham? I probably saw it. I probably know, but I can't recall.
Him and Thompson come together at the end of the first rhythm.
Yep.
That's all I know. I was start straight end, so I have no idea what actually happened. I know he hurt his wrist.
So is he out?
Apparently, no.
Injured?
Apparently, he's back for Melbourne. It's not broken or anything. Bike was twisted in the first one. Went out for the second one. Bad start. Hit the whoops. Decided it wasn't for him. Just pulled in. I think he just cut his losses.
Yep. Yeah, so no points for Caleb Barham, which is a shame because, he's led laps. He's been super fast.
Yeah.
So, and again, he's one of those guys where you look at other riders that are getting paid and you go, how's that guy not on a factory team?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, very curious.
Yep. Mental Moto rider performances. Mako Bree.
Not as outstanding.
Yep.
But still decent. I can't lie, didn't pay the greatest attention to him.
Consistent. 14th overall. And I think, what's 8 points? 14th?
Yeah, off the top of my head.
Yep. So I think 14 for 14th overall. And Zane Mackintosh.
Yeah.
What happened to that guy? Did he show up?
Yeah, he showed flashes. He was hot and cold.
Yeah.
Nah. It's all right. He's showing up for Melbourne, just saving himself.
Yeah, for the big show.
Yeah.
So that's the night show.
Yeah, really.
Well,
I just been getting the fender warmed up. That's all.
Yeah, I did see there was a fender slap.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Yeah.
Couple big ones.
Moving forward to Melbourne in SX2, this was probably the class that I've been the most disappointed with. Obviously, like seeing the Lawrences is cool in SX1. And hopefully, we see Jet and Hunter battle against each other because, unfortunately, there's no one, I think, that's going to be even close to them.
No.
Barring some sort of weirdness.
Incident, yeah.
Yep. But in SX2, we've got Cole Davies coming over.
As a lone soldier.
Julian Beaumere was meant to come over.
Yeah.
But he's injured.
Yeah. And been injured for a long time, mind you. Pretty serious broken back and a Las Vegas. Feel like it was pretty safe to assume he wasn't going to be racing much.
So, the coolest thing I think that you could make out of this is put Cole Davies on a 450, see how he goes against the Lawrences. That would be cool to see.
Yeah. Whether or not he'd want to.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not. But if we put Cole Davies against this Australian field, I mean, I could see him lapping up to second. Even in a 10-minute moto, he's going to be well in front.
Straight up 250 mains.
Yep.
You're you've put what?
He's beaten the greatest rider in the world.
Who?
Hayden Deegan. Sorry, I just had to put that in there.
That's good. That's good. I liked it. Yeah, arguably the second fastest 250 rider in the States at the minute.
Arguably the fastest 250 rider in the
Yeah.
States, Arguably, not...
Arguably in Supercross, with no offense to Lux in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all.
But, he struggles over in the States. I know he had one good race at SMX. I think he was a 12th to 15th place guy. I know Cole beat him in majority of the motos over there last year. So, I don't know if this new confidence has done something or how it's all going.
I think,
I think that gap is big.
Yep. And that's the downside to bringing guys over. I think it's fine, but you've got to look at bringing a couple over at least to create that racing.
Closer, who would you pick if you could pick three? I would say three 250 guys and another 2 450 guys. Ideally, you're not worried about money but if you just got to pick for fit well for good racing.
SX2?
Yeah, SX2. You get to pick 3 riders. So you've already got Cole, so I'd say 2 more.
Deegan and Joe Shimoda.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Okay.
Yep. I think there's plenty of rivalry there.
Yeah.
There's a great story.
So you'd prefer to go that way and even if them 3 lapped 4th, you reckon that the crowd wouldn't mind because them 3 going at it?
Nah, there'd be a battle. You'd have those top 3 going at it, ideally.
Yeah.
Then you'd have, Ryder Kingsford.
Lux and that going at it for championship.
And
so
Larwood.
then it's still a talking point. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That would be the ideal scenario. Same goes, going back to SX1. They need one other good rider there. So whether they chuck Cole Davies up or, last year was Cooper Webb, whether there's someone of that level.
Yeah.
Bring Chase Sexton over, Eli Tomac.
Yeah, bring Anderson and, I know World SX clash, but, if, you could have done the Anderson, Roxon, I feel like they would have been close enough.
So just to digress there, who would you bring over in SX1 that is available?
Jorge Prado. Either Sexton or Tomac. I feel like
Tomac's doing WSX.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
Yep. Have to be Sexton.
Yeah, but
that'd be cool.
But then would he, with the team changes? He probably hasn't had enough time on the bike and things. If you weren't accounting for that.
This is a paid practice session, basically.
Yeah. If you weren't accounting for that, I'd say Sexton would have to be your best bet.
That would be sick.
Massive draw.
Yep, on a Cowie.
Probably get him to replace Matt Moss.
Yeah.
Empire might be happy with that one. No, I don't know. Yeah.
Christian would be happy with that one.
Yeah. I think...
Mate, this, I probably haven't said it much on the podcast, but I'm really, really dirty on WSX. That what this has done.
For the clash.
Yeah, what this has done to our domestic series and our championship in Australia.
Yeah, it's a disgrace.
Yeah. That's the way to say it, and I've asked on an official capacity, and I've had 2 different answers about whether MA could have ensured that they weren't granted the event rights on the same day as the Australian series, because really MA has a responsibility to
it has to go through them,
the domestic series as well. So I was told that no, because the World Supercross is FIM.
Yeah.
But FIM arguably would have to collaborate with
MA.
And then I've heard that no, MA would still have to, they would still sign off on it for FIM to do it. And I'm like, well, if we look at every other hierarchy of the sport in Australia, basically all the state events operate around Pro-MX. All the regional events operate around the state events.
Yeah.
So I know that the WSX date was set after
Correct.
the Aussie Supercross.
Correct.
So maybe they couldn't do anything about it. Maybe they just went in and said, "No, this is the date we're having. Sucks to be you."
Yeah.
For the Aussie series.
Yeah, because I know that date, the Adelaide 500 date, was booked in very quickly after last year's round.
Yep.
Sucks, especially for the fans.
Sucks for the fans. Sucks for the riders. That's because traditionally we've seen riders do World Supercross and the Aussie Series. It's a great You know, for those in
Yeah.
the US, it's a great off-season stuff. For Aussie riders, it's a great opportunity to get some really
Exposure.
good international top-level Supercross racing under their belts.
Yeah.
You know, this year WSX have made a way bigger play to get more US riders, and they've been very
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah, they have got a great lineup for this year. I had a look at that actually the other day.
Yeah.
When the official teams got dropped. They have some heavy hitters.
Yeah, but the whole scenario, as good as that is and as good as it will be,
It just hurts.
and I really find myself struggling to get behind that in any way, shape or form.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I don't know. I'm just not happy with it. For me, you know, my allegiance is with the domestic series because
Absolutely.
World Supercross can come, it can go, and nothing in this country will change,
Yes.
you know. But the health of our domestic series is the health of the sport in Australia.
And realistically, the biggest motorsport fans or Supercross fans of Australia will be at Adelaide.
Yep.
Because it's the other riders, the privateers, the families. Like, yeah, I feel like it's just shooting them both in the foot.
You know, the ideal scenario for me would have been if WSX had have had it a week different or whatever, and maybe in WA. You know, that would be sick. They had it in WA last year, would have been perfect. Supercross in every state.
Yeah.
Riders can mix it up, go between, do every event.
Yeah.
and
If it was the weekend after Adelaide or something.
would have sold out over there,
Oh,
hands down.
yeah.
You know, that would have been the perfect scenario, but obviously that's not what's happened.
No.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers SX2. I think there's, unfortunately, no big storylines, not much to talk about
In the other
in terms of SX2 in Melbourne. No, going to Melbourne.
Oh, yeah. Nothing. Cole Davies wipes the floor with everyone.
Yep. What else? Like, that's it?
Yeah, it does. I think the only thing is Larwood. Like, I don't see.
I think McElrath is racing. He's the only one I think that's coming to race
He is?
SX2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
Cool.
so.
Okay, so does McElrath. Well, he doesn't keep with Cole. I feel like that's.
And we'll see. Like, I don't know if he keeps with, like, Lux Turner.
Yeah, does he. Do we see him dominate like he did last year, or does he continue to struggle? I assume he has, got a few more weeks back on 250 and he's a lot closer to his old dominance, but
Who knows?
yeah, time will tell.
It'd be good to see some PR for, like, the biggest Supercross event in Australia
Yeah.
sometime soon.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been I've seen the same video of Jet like 300 times.
Yeah, it's all been Jet and Hunter.
Yeah, but it's the same video. It's the one of like after he won Des Nations one.
Yep.
Seen that? Yeah.
Yeah, that pops up all
Yeah.
the time.
All the time.
All right, our first guest for this episode of Between the Rounds is SX2 rider. He's a truck driver by day and a main event Supercross guy by night. Brandon Steele, welcome to the podcast, mate.
No, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be on and have a chat with you guys.
No, always a pleasure. So, just to kick things off, mate, tell me a little bit about your weekend at Cronulla.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Like I went there, with I wanted a little bit of redemption after round 1 and 2. So I had a bit more confidence going into it, knowing that I can ride the bike very well, and I had a little bit more time on the bike leading into Cronulla. So yeah, the day started out well. Went out for practice, dialed everything in pretty much straight away, and then qualifying came around and I was in a qualifying spot, straight away. So that sort of just set the tone for the night. And yeah, it just ended up being a really good night, getting 8th in my heat. I was running 3rd to the last lap on my LCQ and ended up 4th. Then I ended up going P15 and P14 in my main. So it was a little bit hard with the start, how it was, just that left elbow. But we had some fun. I rode really good. So I was starting to show that the work I've been putting in behind the scenes, as well as, working as well. So trying our best as a privateer.
Yeah, the track that we saw at Cronulla was more of like a full specs. There's a lot more dirt in it. The obstacles were a lot bigger, and the track was even a little bit longer than Redcliffe. How did you find that, and is it sort of similar to what you've been training on?
Yeah, it definitely is a lot similar to what I've been training on. It sort of, I gelled with it a lot more, just being a little bit bigger volume, maybe a little bit more technical. Redcliffe, the sections, like the little jumps and stuff, they were pretty small. So when you tried to hit them or do a bit bigger rhythm, they sort of had a bit of a kick to them, like a bit of a pop. Where, yeah, Cronulla, you were able just to get a flow, and being a bigger track too, you really were able to tie some rhythms in and get the track going. The whole track really, really flowed well. So, and it didn't really break down too bad either.
Yeah, one of the talking points from last year at Wollongong, because they used the exact same dirt this year, was that there was heaps of traction. Was that sort of similar to this year as well?
Yeah, heaps of traction. Yeah, it was really good. They between practice when we went out, it was a little bit drier, so you were able to obviously get all those rhythms down pretty much straight away, not having to worry about soft spots or anything. But they managed to get some water into it. Qualifying was a little bit more wet, but then you went in the main events and stuff. It did break down in the whoops and around the finish line, but pretty much everywhere else it was just traction. You were able to commit to a jump and know you were going to get the drive to get it. So it was good.
Yeah, one thing with the dirt that was brought up last year, though, because it's a lot darker in colour, was that some of the riders were saying they couldn't see the lines and stuff once the night show began. Was that an issue this year? I felt like the lights at Cronulla were a fair bit brighter than Wollongong last year, but did you find that as an issue?
Really, it was only one rhythm that I found was an issue with seeing, purely because the light was a little bit low. So, the light was shining off your peak into your eyes, really. You sort of had to tilt your head down a bit more.
Yeah.
But as far as, not seeing any of the ruts, the lighting was pretty good for that. And you were able to see where you were going. But yeah, it was just that one of those back rhythms as you were crossing back across in between, like behind the finish line there. And yeah, you just sort of you had to duck your head down a little bit because the light was pointing in your eyes, I think. But yeah, as far as seeing where the ruts and that were, it was a lot better than what Wollongong was.
Yeah, and I feel like as well, the turns were where it was most noticeable. Like you could really cut down early or, kind of cut up the inside and not have to worry about the front just completely disappearing on you. Like I feel like you could really move around the track, unlike Redcliffe.
Yeah, and you were able to, as far as being able to cut down and stuff, you're able to use that to be able to battle with someone too, because of all the different lines in the corners. Like there was actually lines in the corners this round. You were able to battle with people and make passes a lot quicker. It wasn't so much one line. So yeah, the track was really, really good for that.
Yeah, one of the things I've spoken about with Zane already on this show, and I think I spoke about it with you briefly in the pits at Cronulla, was just with the program, like the big breaks in between. Like, how did you feel about that? And is that sort of something that you like, or is it challenging to go, with a 5 or 6 hour break between your pracky sessions and then, qualifying and racing?
Yeah, look, I'm all for a couple hours break and stuff, but being it was literally 6 hours between practice to qualifying. I would have preferred doing practice and then, wait, an hour and then go straight out for qualifying while the track's still sort of half fresh in your mind. But, I was able to, you eat some food, you have a bit of a nap, but then you wake up and you're still waiting around for hours, and then the pit party only just starts when you feel like you should already just be out there.
Yeah.
So, for even nationals this year, it was good for, we had, a couple hour break. You were able to, get undressed, have a nap, eat some food, then you wake up, do your warm up, you're out again, and, you're ready to go, where, it's just a couple hours too long. So, I think, hopefully next year they can get around that and have, it scheduled a bit more around the pit party and having those breaks. Even if they get some of the, I was even thinking, the juniors should just do all their stuff early in the morning and get that out of the way. So then, we're sort of, bang, 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 getting our stuff done, and you're in that flow, you're in that race mode for the whole day, really.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to sacrifice, someone's race day in terms of the event and the timing, I guess, those guys have got their future ahead of them if they keep racing Supercross. They're probably the ones that, should be suffering through the breaks and stuff.
Yeah, well, especially adding on to that, considering their heat races, like only their main events is on the telly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like, if they had their heat races or when we did our practice and then we got to do our practice, yeah, I think something like that would be a lot better. Because that 2.5 hour gap's nice, but 6 hours is a long day.
Yeah, exactly. And I did the whole 85 thing, and even the junior lights growing up, I did all that stuff, and I just feel their main events or they should do all their heat races and practice and stuff before we even start, and then they have that break, but they are able to watch us then, because they're looking up to all these top dudes that are I look up to still when I'm racing them, but they're able to have the break and watch us do our whole program, and then they have their main events later in the night when the night show starts for us. So I'm all for having the younger kids there. They're the younger generation. They're the ones moving up. I had another kid that was in that YZ65 class, and I'm all for them having a good time and racing and stuff. But also, the program should be a bit more based around us night show riders.
Yeah, totally agree. Well, by extension on that, is 16 minutes between practice and qualifying, enough time to learn the track, and is it enough sort of time to get acclimatized to the conditions?
Oh, like you go out there and like on a normal practice day, you have all day to get a rhythm down, or you have all day to figure something out, and then you literally go out there, and I'm pretty sure they're even just 8-minute sessions, to be honest. Like luckily, I'm in non-seated, so you get to sit back and see what the seated guys are doing on those teams, and you go, all right, at least the 250 gets over that rhythm, and you just got to give it a bit and close your eyes, hope for the best. But like being 8 minutes, you don't really get much. Like overseas, they get a bit of a free practice, and then they get a 2 qualifying sessions to try what they want to try, or like they have all these sessions. Even press day, privateers, like I've spoken to Joel Whiteman, they get to do their own press day. They have their own B group, so it's just there is pros and cons to it, I guess. Being a short amount of time, you sort of have that pressure to just hit stuff, like you've got to get it out of the way. But a little bit more time would be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel as well it would nearly add a bit of safety as well. Like if you weren't having to rush them threes, because I've definitely been before, like on the weekend when you go out and it's already rutted and whatever. You're already 2-3 laps in before you start feeling half comfy, and you've got to start uncorking threes in rhythms, and yeah, I think it definitely add a safety level as well, and just a lot more enjoyment for the riders.
Oh, 100%. Like, not having to just go out and just full send it, because you do run out of time pretty quick. And, on the weekend it was, 50 seconds, 54 seconds up for us, privateers. And, that's we only get 8 minutes. So, I think for the practice, I only just got my last lap in, I got everything in one lap, where the laps beforehand, it was like every lap I did one section at a time, and it just chews it out. Those extra couple minutes, if it was even 12 minutes, that extra few minutes helps you, because then you can really, everything you've tried, you can piece it into one lap, and then, all right, going to qualifying, I'm done all this, I just have to do it a little bit faster.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw in one of the SX3 races too, I think they had like 3 laps during qualifying under the Red Cross flag, like with a section of the track.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to suck.
Oh, if they're like someone goes down, and you got Red Cross here, or a couple of yellows, and by the time you piece the track down, you really only have 2 laps. I'd say 2 or 3 laps, and that's if you piece it down quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Like like Melbourne last year, for an example. Like, I have it on some of my YouTube videos. You go out, and literally 3 laps there was a medic flag out in 2-3 different rhythms. I really only got one fast lap in, and sometimes that's barely enough. So,
yeah.
Even like just say like for, the couple nationals this year, they did double headers. You had like those, 20-minute sessions or whatever to just throw down, like, and it was fun.
Yeah, that was good for me too, because especially the MX2 class, we're throwing down over some of those jumps.
Yeah, mate,
I was loving it.
Just absolute whip comp.
Yeah, 100%. So just that little bit extra time just gets you a bit more comfortable, and then you're able to, do stuff obviously safely, but also to the best of your abilities, because, there is a lot of dudes out there that, don't get the best shot because, they have to warm up a bit. When they're warmed up, they're really, really good. So.
And I find as well, us privateers, like, if you don't make the main, like I've worked it out, you get about 25 minutes of track time for the whole day. Like that's a long way to go to New South Wales, and like I think it would help with a few of privateers, helping them go and actually putting in the effort to show up to a few of the rounds, because even if they don't make the night show, like don't make the main, they've still had a good days at the races.
Well, that's it too. Like, last year at Adelaide, man, like they didn't run an LCQ, and I missed out. Even Joe Whiteman missed out, and he was like fifth in the championship. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty wild. So yeah, it doesn't really work in your favour sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, to elevate the sport, like everyone in Australia, all the riders, the more track time they get, the better it's going to be.
Yeah.
And, to counter that for the promoters, like by giving riders more track time, like you said, it adds as much safety, I guess, as you can fit in. Like we might not see the attrition rate that we've had like the last few years where you've got, like in your class, I think I counted, there's five factory guys out, through injury.
Yeah.
There's some in SX1. There's, big guys out in SX3. So it's not just the privateers that's going to benefit as well.
So, yeah, but I definitely think removing that level of just panic, not even panic, but that, because like if you don't hit the triples in your practice, then you've got to pull it out real fast in your qualifying. And I definitely think it allows people to adjust to the track at a better rate. And
yeah, 100%. And I don't want to throw any shade on the promoters and that, because like Kevin, all those guys, they do a great job. It's just some of these stuff where they are looking into the safety and they are trying to do their best, but it's like sometimes they might need to listen to us riders and just add those extra minutes and add those extra times to make sure we're good to go. Because there's those I think there's like 14 or 13 dudes on teams, and they're
Factory
all pro
guys.
riders, and there's a lot of privateers. We work Monday to Friday, and then we drive to the race and rock up. So we barely get any ride time in, and then have to just throw down within 8 minutes. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and I didn't mean that to sort of throw any shade. I think they are doing a great job, and I think they do listen. Like we've seen in the last 3 years since AME has taken over, so many changes that have come about from conversations like this, on all different types of platforms that riders have
100%.
raised. So, it's good to see, but you've got to keep those conversations going, or shit doesn't get addressed.
Yeah, you got to keep it relevant, because and sometimes it only really like they look over us privateers. Sometimes we could say whatever we want, and they should be listening, and then it takes one pro rider or one team manager to talk, and then they listen. So you got to kind of keep that relevant, like you said, and then they eventually will listen. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, they're trying their best to grow the sport, and they're starting to work with us, and they're doing a really good job. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get it to a point one day where it's all working well.
Before we talk about your program a little bit, I just wanted to throw back to Redcliffe. You were in a qualifying position in the LCQ there, but it all turned to custard when you had a bit of an on-track incident with Sam Larson. Yeah, tell me a little bit about that from your perspective, because there was a bit of controversy after that.
Oh man, you've started it, but it was
pretty funny.
You're right. Yeah, no, like going into Redcliffe, I had 7 days total on Supercross. Like I blew a fuel pumps. I cut my leg open at work. I had a month worth of rain. Like nothing was stacking up to me. So like going into Redcliffe, I was just pumped to be there and see where I was going to stack up. Night one, missed out by one spot. Going into night two, I was pretty adamant I was going to make it in. Like I was trying my best, but I was smoked after night one. So, I was battling with Goulet and Larson, and, Goulet and Larson came together pretty hard, and, I wasn't the only one that was, upset about the banging bars that was going on. I can tell you that's for sure. But, like, they're going into that last lap. Olander, got around me, and I wasn't going to fight him too much because I didn't want to crash. And then
and you were in a qualifying position too.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to mess it up, and it just went into the whoops. I sort of, took too much of a deep breath. I didn't commit into the whoops, which is, the fault on my behalf. So he caught up that little bit through the whoops, and, I was already on the exit of the corner. Like I was already pointing at the straight. I was already out. He's jumped completely left out of the whoops. Wasn't even aiming towards the corner. It was just a straight, T-bone. Like he smoked me pretty hard. And I managed to actually hold on to the bars and got up pretty quick, but it was just too late. So, but yeah, I was pretty fired up. Like, I paid a lot of money to go up there, and after everything that I've gone through, I was just not having it. So I I went over the finish line, just looked up on the board, seen 7th, and I just sort of seen red. I laid my bike on the ground. I was calling him out. He looked at me, and I seen his eyes light up. He rode around me, and being me, I just I'm not usually one to get so angry, but I just didn't let it go. I got up, picked my bike back up. I had bent levers. My front guard was all warped. It was all discoloured, and I had tyre marks everywhere. And so I took off, sped up the middle of the track, out the back. I rode my bike into him, and I gave my bike to my mechanic, my brother, and I had a few more words to him, and I sort of said my piece. I calmed down. I wasn't going to take it too much further because like being the sport it is, sometimes it can bite you in the backside, and you're out for the next round because something's gone wrong. So
Yep.
I left it at that, and I don't know who it was. It was a bit of an outsider. Came out of nowhere and pushed me and my brother out of the way. It was someone in his
what?
pit area, and
Yes. I didn't know about this bit. Yep.
Yeah, so it just sort of carried on. I let it go, and my brother was calming me down, and I said me bit, and then we started walking out, and one of the people in his pit just came in, pushed me out of the way, and then was pushing me brother backwards with the bike, holding him back, just going off at us. And I was just saying, look, man, like, I'm done. I've said my piece. I'm not here. Like, just let me go. So we started walking out the back, and they kept mouthing off, and then it was just sort of tit for tat.
Yeah.
It was, I wasn't my proudest moment. I don't like being like that, but the sport we're in, like you said, we spend so much money trying to get to these races, and put our best foot forward just to have it, and it was, I've rubbed bars before with people. A lap beforehand, someone took me high in the berm, like I'm all for rubbing racing. Like, it's the sport we do. But, when, so much, sadness has happened this year in our sport, someone going in for the kill like that, they're literally going to hurt people. I don't stand for that, so, once I said my piece, it was left at that, it was nothing else to be said. So,
Yep.
but everyone was a bit fired up. The crowd came out from that pod. They all ran out the back and huddled around. They were wanting to see a fight. I wasn't there to, punch on or anything. It was just, we're all fired up. We're all there to do, the one thing, which is make the main event, showcase our sponsors to the best of our abilities. And, sometimes it, gets the better of us. So,
yeah. So, I mean, when a split-second decision can impact, your whole night and
months of work.
I was about to say all the time that's gone into it.
Yeah, and then when that heart rate's already at 190,
yeah,
thoughts.
That's it.
Yeah,
you're already fired up. Like, once I got out of the car, I sort of had a bit of a laugh about it, and it's just like, you've got that beef with someone now, but you just let it go. Like, there's no point carrying it on. You leave it to the next race, and karma's karma. Karma comes around. I'm all for that. But yeah, it's the sport we're in. Like, you got to expect a little bit of rubbing. But yeah, when someone's going to be that rough, there's I'm going to say something, 100%.
I think as well, with helmets on, I feel like you're definitely allowed to yell some choice words at riders every now and then. It's
don't you worry. There was a lot said. So, but it kept, like, I ended up speaking with one of the promoters, Kev, and I got a little bit of a talking to because I sped up the middle of the track, which I apologise for, and I knew what I did wrong straight away, and he just said, as long as it's between the two riders, like, you just can nearly do whatever you want, but when someone from the outside steps in, that's when it gets a bit shady. So
yeah, for sure.
But everything was left at that round. Everything was left behind. I seen Kev at Cronulla. I shook his hand. I said, "Don't worry, mate. I'll behave this round." And we had a good night. So
it's classic. It was definitely a talking point of the night. Like, I was on the whoop side, so I saw it all happen. I obviously got some photos of the incident, but like, looking across to the industry stand, it was like there was a fire. Like,
everyone just evacuated.
Yeah, everyone
so
in the
fast.
stand just went all to that whole side where you guys went off the track. It was pretty classic.
Then
they basically, like, they were cheering me on. Like, I laid the bike down on the ground. I got off it. Like, my bike was on top of the rhythm, and I walked back towards the finish line, like, pointing at him. I was going off. And you could just hear the crowd cheering, and then you see it on the broadcast, like, you see it up in the top corner. They all start just moving out to the back stairs. It was pretty funny, but I left it there. We all get hot headed at some point, not your finest hour, but you put so much in, like you said, you just gotta let it out sometimes.
Yeah, even at Cronulla, you look at the MX3 battle.
Oh, yeah.
Holy, did the crowd get into that? Just, you know what I mean?
Man, like I was cheering Malinowski on. I trained with him over at Club MX. I had a bit of time over there, and
Yeah.
I'm good friends with him, and even Burjo, and you know, I was cheering them on. They came over to the podium, and I was up on my pegs on my bike in the start line, yelling at Ryder, and you know, it was pretty cool. But they got pretty fired up.
Oh yeah, there's a bit of choice words said there again, but it's just good to see in the sport. You know what I mean? You bringing back that Chad and Bubba rivalry and making racing interesting again.
And like you said, as long as it stays
100%.
on the track, it's sweet. Yeah.
That's,
Like,
you know what I mean?
and if you've got to have that fight, you've got to have that mentality and that care. Like, if you didn't care and you didn't put that, you know, amount of anger or, you know, want to do it, you're in the wrong sport. Like, you know, so, you know, sometimes it just comes out, and it's good to see, like, you know, like we haven't seen it in a long while. So it's good that it's starting to come out, you know, back into some people.
Yeah. And I look at it this way, like when I used to box, like you can't do it. It's the same as Supercross. You can't do it without having that dog in you.
Yeah.
Like every rider out there, when that helmet's on and that gate drops, like that dog's going wild.
Yeah, the drive to just that guy in front of you, just chase him down with everything you've got. You
and
know?
you can't just turn that off.
No. And, you know, like once you know, as soon as you come in, it's always still there. And then, you know, give it half an hour, you're fine. You know what I mean? You can say hello again or whatever.
And you could be the coolest guy off the track, you know, and chill and everything. But in that moment,
you have to be able to turn that on to just that drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, you got to have that want, and yeah, it's good to see. There's a lot of young kids coming up that have that too. So yeah, you got to have that fire.
Yeah. You mentioned, Brandon, your brother before, you know, when you're going down the pits. Like, I've seen you obviously for the last couple of seasons, but he's always by your side. He's always on the start gate. Yeah, you're obviously very close, but tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, look, man, he's my right-hand man. You know, I wouldn't be the person or in the position I am today without him. He's a lot bigger than me. He's actually 2 years younger than me, but we call him my little big brother. But yeah, we grew up racing together, man, and you know, he's always been that little bit. You know, he's probably faster than me if he actually puts his mind to it. But yeah, currently he's out with ACL injury, and he's just been my mechanic for the last couple of years. And you know, I wouldn't have anyone else next to me. He's you know, does everything for me. He's a mechanic, and he will do literally anything for me to see me succeed, and I'll do the same for him.
It's so cool to see, mate. And I believe your dad raced Supercross as well. Is that right? I was having a bit of a chat with him at Cronulla.
Yeah, man, he raced growing up. Like, you know, he got into it pretty young, thanks to my nan. Like, and you know, it was his passion. He did it for a long time, and yeah, he did all the, you know, the old Supercrosses back in the day, and he's got all his old gear. He sometimes, you know, tells me to wear it, and I think it just falls apart. But yeah, we've got photos of him racing Supercross and then me racing Supercross. So it's pretty cool. You know, we've grown up around that. I've done it since I was 2, thanks to him, and you know, even some of my mates, like he raced their dads, like, you know, the Siglianos and the Woods and all that. Like, they all grew up racing in their families, and now we're all family friends racing as well. So he's done it for a long time.
That's pretty sick. That's
very sick. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's cool. Like, you know, and you know, my brother being my mechanic, you know, sometimes, you know, Dad gets very, very passionate. Like, Dad used to do it for me, and you know, Dad being your dad, you know, sometimes you don't want to listen to him, even though he is right along a lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
And he's been there, done that, literally. So, but yeah, it's, you know, having the family around and doing it all properly, it's very important, and you know, having the right people, they're perfect for it.
Yeah. We'll wind this up shortly because we've been going for nearly half an hour. But before we do, you raced the AUSX Open last year. What was that whole experience like for you, and sort of has that sort of prepared you for going into it again this year?
Oh, look, man, it was pretty cool. Like, I had about a day or two on a borrowed 250F. It was bone stock. I threw, you know, all my old parts on it, and you know, learning, I was riding with Nicoletti and McElrath and just all those boys. It was a really cool event. And, you know, going into this year, you know, knowing that I, you know, can get a good start and I can run with some of those guys, gives you a little bit more confidence. And I did that last year. So this year, the goal really is to just, you know, get those good starts and put myself up there, because I know I can be up there. I've just got to get the wheels in motion, really.
Yeah. I had to ask too, like through Pro MX and that, you raced MX1. How come the step back to the 250 for Supercross?
Look, it's as everyone knows, like for a 250F in motocross, if you want a fast bike, you got to spend a lot of money, and then to keep the maintenance on it, you've got to do a lot. But also having that 450, it's a little bit nicer to ride on motocross, and this past year I've gotten pretty good on it for motocross. I'm getting a little bit better, but stepping down onto that 250 for Supercross, it's just so much easier. Like in my opinion, I started doing Supercross professionally in 2022 on the 450s, and then I went over to club. They, some of them, Garrett Marchbanks, they all raced 450s in nationals, and they stepped down to the 250, and I was just scratching my head for so long. And then, I decided to do it myself. And this year I was like, yeah, I'm not going back to the 450 just yet. Like it's a lot lighter, a lot the turns like on a dime. You can have it a little bit quicker, so easy to do rhythms, and it's just all round an easier bike in a way to do Supercross on. Like unless you're Dean Wilson or someone that's a bit of a meathead and likes to ride those 450s wild,
Yep.
you can ride the 250 a lot harder and be a lot safer.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I actually thought it would be harder on a 250, because you'd have to ride it so much harder.
You'd think so, but yeah, being on a 450, you use like barely any throttle. Like you go in rhythms, and on a 250 you rev the hell out of it, and you get the next rhythm, and then you rev it more and you get the next rhythm. Where on a 450, you just blurp it. Like you don't even really rev it unless you Luke Clout. Like you don't use throttle at all.
And I find as like I did a couple of days on a 450 at my house, just kind of playing around, and yeah, you don't like understand how little throttle, like how hard it is to time things on a 450, where 250 you kind of just like finishes just second gear nearly flat out.
Yeah, exactly.
Second
You
gear
give it
flat out.
You give it flat out on a 450. You're over jumping something.
Yeah, you're going 3 quad into the stands. You kind of
on a 250, like I hit whoops about third, sometimes fourth, but 450 I'm always fourth. Like
just that torque.
Just something. Yeah, like you wind it up, you can lug it a bit more, and yeah, they're just a different animal, So you can use the 250 to your strengths in Supercross. I reckon you can ride it a lot harder and be a lot more aggressive to, suit the tracks as well.
Oh, that's cool. All right, before I let you go, Brandon, who supports your program?
Oh, look, man, I've got a few people in my corner. Obviously my dad, our business, like I work for him doing, I deliver frames and trusses, so like Steelo's Transport. I've had a couple new people jump on board this year, so Snills Australia, they do caffeine pouches and stuff. Aussteel, Frame and Truss, they're a company we deliver for. But also Unifilter Australia, they're my air filters. MSC Moto, they do triple clamps and everything for me. They're awesome. Power Sport Central, I get my bikes through. Custom Printworks, they do all my killer graphics. Promoto suspension, and Free Flood MX Park. My uncle owns that place out there, and that's where I grew up. So I've just got a lot of close people in my corner, and I like to keep it that way. I bring some people in sometimes, but I've had these guys sponsor me since I was on 65s, and yeah, they help me out no matter what. And without them, I wouldn't be here. So I've got my brother as my mechanic. My girlfriend comes to the races with me, and she does all my food, cleans my stuff, makes sure I'm good to go, and in the best position possible to do it. Mum and dad, they help me out as much as they can, and it's just basically everyone helps me out to the best of their abilities, and I'm trying to do the best for them.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. You're well looked after, that's for sure.
Nah, thank you. And yeah, obviously I get some pretty sick photos off Mental for Moto too, like all year. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, that dude's all right on a camera, isn't he?
Yeah, he hasn't missed a beat, mate. I've got a lot of photos off him this year, and they're pretty sick.
He flukes it, mate. He flukes it.
No.
All good. Thanks heaps for coming on the show, and look forward to catching up with you in Melbourne in a couple of weeks' time.
Nah, I'm keen as, guys. I'll see you down there, and thank you for having me on. It's been great.
SX3, Cade Kingsford and Malinowski. Great battles. Finished the night.
It's so sick.
Yep, with an altercation. So, all right, I'll start with the question. The shenanigans that went on, I really didn't see anything crazy from Malinowski towards towards Cade Kingsford.
Yeah.
For me, it was Cade Kingsford against Ryder Malinowski, though Cade wasn't happy about something that Ryder had done.
Yeah, Ryder punted him in the heat race. Ryder punted him in the heat race in Redcliffe as well. So I think the second time it happened, Cade was pretty fired up.
Yep.
And I think Cade had the chip on his shoulder, like going into the heat, into the main. I don't think Ryder really expected anything, and I think Cade tried to one-up him and show him that he was the man.
So what did you think about that whole situation? So for me, Ryder Malinowski behind Cade Kingsford was clearly the faster rider.
Yes.
He's putting a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah. Gets around him.
Yeah.
Then makes those
Mistake.
big mistakes.
Yep.
Cade gets around and should have just tried to run.
Yep. Okay, so I don't have an issue with that he tried something, like he tried to brake check him, which
Yep.
was and cut across on him,
Yep.
which was the two.
Yeah, the cut across, fair game, cool.
Yep. The brake check.
It wasn't even dirty. It was just a bad move.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm getting at. So it was basically a move to try to disrupt Ryder Malinowski, whether he's flow or make him crash or go to the outside or whatever. But he only did it once. It wasn't like a repeated thing. It wasn't a Hayden Deegan thing like in SMX. So for anyone that sort of has bagged that out as being unsportsmanlike, I think is what...
that's just...
Yeah. I don't buy it. But at the end of the day, like it shot him in the foot, as in it shot Cade Kingsford in the foot.
Yeah.
He did it. He didn't do it well.
Yeah.
He let Ryder Malinowski past.
If you watch that back, Ryder could have absolutely
Cleaned him.
sawn that front wheel off. Like if he really wanted to, you look back, like, you know what I mean? Ryder kind of chose to win the race, but he could have slammed Cade if he really wanted to.
So was the outrage by Malinowski, after they crossed the line, justified? He was pretty fired up.
He was fired up. I caught a lot of us off guard. I think just heat in the moment. I don't know why he was so fired up. Likes racing maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they had their small yell and whatever. It was never. But yeah, good to see a bit of passion.
So I heard that at one stage, apparently Cade Kingsford cross-jumped Malinowski, but I've watched that back and I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I don't know where. Like, I don't know if it was early in the main.
Yeah.
When Cade was in front.
That's
over the finish is the only place I can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know because I know if Ryder, like that was an easy jump to get cross jumped on. If you cut down, you kind of slightly drifted back to the middle and vice versa. So whether that early just fired him up, and then because even when Ryder first passed Cade, it was pretty nothing in it.
Yeah,
stood him up in a turn. That was it.
Because that brake check for me, didn't warrant that
outrage.
Because he's just giving you the win. It's you should be saying thanks, dude.
Well, that was the thing. He then won. Like if he got second, you can see he's upset.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Malinowski won the night. Of course, these guys only get one main, but he still sits 18 points behind Kingsford.
Yeah, I think Cade has to think championship now.
Yep. So from Malinowski's point of view, do things start to get spicy? Like, do we see some of that, quote, unsportsmanlike behaviour happening back?
Well, Cade has to go 5-5 and Malinowski win both motos, as in the Melbourne and
final.
Adelaide.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is a big ask considering Cade and Malinowski appear to be a fair bit quicker than the rest of the field. Because 3 to 7 in that class is really close.
Yep.
Those two seem to have been a little bit quicker.
Do we see Cade Kingsford get cleaned out?
100%. I would, if it happens, I'm not going to be surprised.
Yep.
Especially now that there's a little bit of blood. Not there's blood in the water, but
there's blood in the water.
Yeah,
there's
you know what I mean? There's blood in the water. And if he wants to keep his championship alive, if he saws his front wheel off and Cade gets 7th, you know what I mean? This is well and truly opens the door.
Yep, it's on.
You know
It's
what I
not
mean?
like Donkey Kong.
And
Yep.
saying that, who's third in the championship? There's like four of them that are within Allsop. If Allsop slides into a second after Malinowski soars,
So behind Cade Kingsford in the championship, you've got Jet Allsop, Ryder Malinowski, Jack Devison, and Deegan Rose, all within 5 points of one another.
yeah. So Devo rides great. Like, if Malinowski soars off Cade's front wheel, if they go all three of them podium or three of the four podium, this thing opens up. Like, if you're Jet Allsop and you're going into Adelaide 5 points behind Ryder and Cade, who have both got two, like, they can both clean each other out. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be Deegan Shimoda type shenanigans at Melbourne. Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. Jet Allsop, riding with a broken collarbone.
Yeah.
What an animal.
Dude is tough.
What an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
tough.
yeah, was talking to his dad on the walk back to the car park at the end of the night.
Yeah.
He was pretty pumped,
Oh, yeah.
you know, because he was just out there to,
Just to survive.
conserve some points.
And then rode well.
Yep, and sitting second in the championship. You know, I
And-
think it's going to be hard for him to go up from there.
And I think Reeve is really happy with that. I think...
He's the perfect rider for a team, though. He's personable, he's humble, and he can ride the wheels off a dirt bike.
Yeah. And I believe he's got another year also in MX3. I believe. I don't know. It's hard because that kid's been injured so often. Like, it's hard to tell how many years he's been in there.
I think I asked him. I think he has to step up next year.
He does?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'm pretty sure I asked him that during Pro MX. Jack Devison, Devo, low-key impressive.
Did you see him through the whoops in the first lap of the qualifying? Oh, my God. Brand new track. First out the gates. And, like, you obviously get to the finish before you get to the long set of whoops. So this is a brand new set. This kid comes over this wall jump. Thing on the limiter. Shifts 2 gears. Just held the thing tapped. I don't think I've seen anyone get through the whoops quicker all night.
Yep.
Like, I mean, by far quicker than any of the other MX3 boys. Like, first lap just had that thing pinned. And I was like, that is sick. Like... Yeah, Devo's an animal. He's just a little New South Wales kid that just sends.
Yep. Speaking of that wall jump and that set of whoops, Ryder Malinowski
Yeah.
sending it off the wall jump and into the whoops.
Yeah.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah. That was just like... And no one else attempted it.
So just to, set the premise here, I think I spoke to you. I spoke to a bunch of riders
On
during
track walk?
Track walk. Man, I looked at those whoops and I was shitting myself looking at them, and I'm not going out there to ride the track.
Yeah.
They were tall. The valleys were actually went below ground level a little bit. Like it was low, which, means the whoops were actually taller than they looked sort of when you're standing further away. And there was no room between them. They were close together.
Yeah. They were short, sharp transitions, and you don't realise that's actually a pretty big gap from that
It
wall.
was massive. Yeah, I joked and said, does anyone send this in? Like we've seen in Monster Energy Cup and things like that, when guys
people-
send it off wall jumps into rollers.
Yes.
But this is like full Supercross whoops.
Yeah. And did you say he did it second lap?
Yeah. And then, but in the main event at night,
Just uncorked it midway.
just, okay, he's young,
Confidence.
but is that confident? Is that overconfidence? Is it stupidity?
Have you seen him, Redcliffe, first lap out of yellow? No one in the seeded group did a single triple in the rhythms because it was soft. The first rhythm after the finish, he goes 2-3 to the big. The 250 guys weren't even sure if they were going to 3 to the big at all. This is like Reese Budd and all them guys, like the SX2 guys were like, don't know if we'll 3 to that big. Second lap just goes and does it. Like, he just did everything. Pieces. I don't know if it's from America, like their confidence, done so many laps on Supercross track. his willingness. But in his defence,
no other Americans doing it either.
Yeah, but his timing is just great.
Oh, that's the bit that blew me away with that jump was the timing. Like there was, what do you reckon? Like you were riding the track.
One bike. There's literally one bike length.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So 30 centimetres forward or back.
And he's too long into the face of a whoop, or he's tagging and bouncing into the whoops.
Yeah, there was no room for error.
No. And he's just middle of the main. Like, it's not an easy jump to judge.
No. And obviously the bike was set up perfectly.
He looks comfy on that thing.
Yeah, but he was jumping, he was landing. I noticed, like, when he was coming towards me through there when I was up that far end of the track, he was getting obviously a big bounce out of that. So what was that rhythm that he was jumping?
I think he was going in 3-1, but he was trying to go to the fourth. And was kind of landing on top. Like
he's trying to quad the middle?
Nah, quad out.
Quad out, yep.
Yeah. That was big.
And because you guys were coming in and going single-double, that meant he was on a different rhythm landing triple. So has that made it better for him?
Well, normally no, because the more we land in it, the more we dig out the back one and kind of give us more space.
Yep.
So he was going into it. Short, sharp transition that no one's been landing in.
Like a virgin set of whoops, basically, yeah.
So, I mean, the backside of the one he landed on would have been nice. The faces were all still cupped out. So, I mean, I can't really say I did it, so I can't really give you the greatest feedback. But from my typical, it's normally harder to get on the alternate line.
Yep. Crazy, man. Very, very impressive.
Yeah.
But as we've seen in Supercross time and time again, you know, it's only great while it works.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great idea until it's not.
If he went in, he landed deep and got a funny kick and went down, could you imagine the slander he would have copped this, like, what kind of idiot jumps in, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So, yeah.
That was, like, I don't think we've seen that sort of stuff since, like, James Stewart. You know, that was a James Stewart type move.
No one just uncorked stuff in a main mid-battle for the lead. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
let alone an SX3 guy.
Yeah.
You know, like Cloudy might quad something, Dino might quad something.
Yeah, like they're like, okay, they've been thinking about it, but just impressive.
Yep, very impressive.
But that's what we were saying. These SX3 guys are just getting better and better.
Yep. Mental for Moto guys in SX3. Max Compton. Yeah, 14th overall.
Yeah, nice. He'll kind of be happy with that. He's hard on himself, but definitely better than Queensland, I think. So he'll be happy to build. Yeah,
and I think he has the potential to be even better than that.
Yeah, close to that top 10.
Yeah, he's a good Supercross guy. He's aggressive. That triple before the triple.
Yeah,
we're talking about. He was the first SX3 guy I actually saw doing
and he made it look easy.
Yeah,
some of them other guys that were hitting it, you could see him seat bouncing it hard and kind of tagging. Where he was just.
I think he's only going to get better from round to round. He actually injured himself at AUSX last year, so
he broke his wrist.
Yeah. So I think it was on a site. He uncorked something on a site lap last year.
Yeah, no, he jumped and someone had tagged a tough walk.
Oh.
And he landed into the tough walk on site lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad was not. I was standing with his dad when that happened.
Yeah, because he was on the opposite side of the track to me, and I'm just like, it was over before it even started. So, anyway, Austin Boyd, 17th on the night. Good ride for him.
I think you'll be happy with that, putting it in the main again.
Yep. Stoked to see him last year at Marvel as well. Like, he rode really well there, so he'll go well coming into Melbourne, and he's sort of on a climb a little bit.
I think he's just building.
Feet. Yep. Nate Short just missed out on the main again, but I think first year of Soupy, and
he's building. He's going to be good.
Yep. And I mean, in Moto, he's still racing the 85. So
I nearly thought he was going to be on the 85 for Soupy. Probably best he isn't.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. He seems to always have disaster rides on that 85. So
it's probably best he's on 250.
Yeah.
But kid's got a lot on his plate. I think once he drops down to 2 bikes, he'll be able to focus a bit better and get better on those big bikes.
Yeah, and Richie Lawler unfortunately missed out on this round.
Collarbone?
Yeah.
I've seen him floating around in a sling. So
Little injury. Yeah,
it's nothing for us motocross riders.
So he's hopefully going to be back for Melbourne. Yep. All right, so we'll get our next rider on the line, Deegan Rose, and we'll have a chat with him, and then we'll talk some 85s. All right, the next rider on the line for this episode, he's a big Supercross guy. Deegan Rose, mate, welcome to the podcast.
Sweet, it's awesome. Finally get to make it on the pod.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to have you, mate. And I think good timing. You had a good run up at Cronulla.
Yeah, Cronulla was good. Felt pretty good. So still learning this whole Supercross program thing out, but it's working out really good.
Yeah, well, tell me a little bit about Cronulla. I think you were fourth in the heat. Did you lead laps in the heat as well?
Yeah, starts were honestly really good all day. I haven't felt that good on starts, even in Redcliffe, so that was good to get them dialed. Practice, qualifying, rode a little bit tight.
Yep.
But just reset for the heat race, really. And good start, and just, I think I led for probably 2 laps or something. And then dropped back to second, a couple laps later back to third, and then just made a little mistake in the whoops and overshot the berm, which sent me into fourth, and wrapped it up there.
And what about the main event?
Yeah, honestly, 6 start again. I was stoked with that. Running third for probably 3 laps, and then just had a collision with another rider, which is fine. That's racing, but I was feeling really good in the main event. Feel like I was a different rider in the main compared to practice and qualifying, so I was stoked.
Yeah. So it was, what was it? What did you come on the night? 8th, I think. So you come 8th, 8th on the night in the final, and you're currently sitting 5th in the championship, but you're only 5 points out of second,
I know.
Just Jet Allsop. So is that sort of where you expected to find yourself coming into the season?
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm a Supercross rider for sure. It suits my riding style a lot.
Yep. Big super guy.
I don't. Some people gel with it, some people don't, and fortunately enough, I really like it, and that's my thing at the moment.
Yeah, well, that was a question I was going to ask you, because we saw even through like Pro MX, you definitely jump with a bit of flair compared to a lot of other riders. You know, there's jumps where no one was styling on.
Big jumps and that, so throw a bit of steez over the jumps.
Yeah, where do you get that from? Like, when did that come about? Has that sort of been there ever since you were younger?
Well, I honestly didn't really start riding until I was 7. So I started pretty late compared to everyone else. And then just honestly worked on my technique for years. It's taken ages to get to this point. But I think just looking at other people's styles, like free ride riders and that, I look at that a lot. Like Axel Hodges and all them guys, take a lot from them, and just it's kind of taking a different approach into it.
Yeah, is that something that you would sort of get more into, or is racing your thing?
No, I definitely love racing, just the adrenaline and all that. You can't beat the feeling, but I'd love to have a bit of fun after riding each day.
Yeah, well, your story is a little bit different getting into it at 7, because just about every rider I asked that's sort of at your level got into it on a Pee-wee 50 at 3 years old. Yeah. So how did you actually get into it?
Well, Dad used to race, obviously, back in his day. He started young at a young age and finished up pretty early. But I had a quad bike for ages, and then got a little CRF 50 I'd ride around the backyard, and we went to Kilcoy Club Day one day, and I said to Dad, I think I want to do this. And it all really started from there. Went to the bike shop and got a KTM 50, and the rest is history.
No, that's so sick. And how long did it sort of take you before you started to find a bit of success on the track?
I'd probably say around my late 85 days is when I really started taking it seriously. Training bumped up, had a lot more of a program going, and
And so what does your sort of training program look like? Like, are you like a lot of these other SX3 kids? Like, have you got a track at home or?
I have a track in my backyard that I'll ride 2-3 times a week, and then also go out to Robbie Marshall's once a week.
Yep.
To train, and obviously fitness program with 547 Levi. He's great.
Oh yeah.
Sets me programs each week, and I'll go up the coast twice a week to train with him.
And yeah, we saw through the Pro MX season you were riding for the Rising Motorsports team. I think you were with those guys for a couple of years. Yeah, what was it like working with them up till this year's Supercross season?
Yeah, it was great. It was a great experience. I've never had the opportunity to be on a team like that before, so we thought we'd jump on, get the experience. I started with them in 2024. Did motocross with them. I had an injury in Supercross in 2024, so I didn't get to ride for him then. But then, yeah, stepped back in 2025 for the motocross season, and honestly, it was a great experience. I think without that, it'll be hard in the future if I ever get the opportunity to go on another team to feel that pressure again.
Yeah, well, I think the way you're riding at the moment, and even the eyes that were on you at Cronulla, like the live announcers were calling you out.
No, absolutely. Those good starts definitely help get a lot of attention on you, like especially being up front in the main. Like you weren't leading, but leading a few laps in the heat race. Everyone's watching. So yeah, it's awesome to see.
And even the style, dude. Like people notice the style.
Throwing down.
Yeah. Yeah, trying to throw down.
Yeah. So for Supercross, you've moved over to the JPM MX development team. Tell me a little bit about the team and what they do for you.
Yeah, so Jed Parsons, he owns a motocross performance shop in the Gold Coast, and he ran a couple of Honda guys this year in the motocross series, and decided to step up and give me the opportunity to ride for JPM 360 Developments, which has been another awesome experience. He's a great guy, great dude, as most people would know him, and he's just helping the sport out. I think trying to make everything better for all these people coming up through the ranks.
Yeah, there's obviously the mechanical side of that, but does he help you out with on track stuff as well?
Yeah, he used to race himself, so he would at Redcliffe and Cronulla, he could see things on the track that I needed to work on and things that I was good at. He's also really good at picking up on. It's great having him by my side.
Yeah, that's always good to have someone kind of with that guidance kind of in your corner on race days and things like that, especially like with his bike knowledge. Like it'd be really good to, make adjustments on the day and things like that. So yeah, how does that find awesome. Taking the stress off you on race day to kind of just focus on yourself?
It's really good. Just having someone like that, with the knowledge he has, like tuning bikes with motors, suspension, all that. If we need to change something on the day, he's right there to do it. And on the track, he knows like all the little things. So just finding little tents and that, he's really good with that. So yeah.
As an SX3 rider, you're fairly fresh to the sport of Supercross. Are you the kind of rider that can give a lot of feedback to someone like that as well to make those adjustments, or do you rely on him sort of to notice those things when you're out on track?
I feel like I can give him pretty good feedback. I feel like I have pretty good feel with the bike, so if I ever need something changed, I'll tell him, or ask him even his opinion. I'll tell him something and see what he thinks as well.
Yeah, that's very cool. For the SX3 guys, like a lot of them, we're seeing them, stepping away from school, stepping away from work to focus a lot on Supercross. What's your program like in terms of school and work look like, and where you're at there?
Yeah, so I just finished year 12 last week, so that's a big relief. Finally get that done with, and then looking at doing an apprenticeship next year, hopefully.
Yeah, and in what?
I'm looking at just doing a motorcycle mechanic trade with Jed Parsons. He's pretty local to me, so I think that'll be good to also gain my knowledge on the dirt bike.
Yeah, 100%. And so what's the plan moving forward? Are you looking, hopefully to get on another team or attract maybe a factory ride at some point?
Yeah, hopefully. That would obviously be the dream for sure. Just got to I think better my results a little. That will definitely put some eyes on me, and that would be the dream.
Do you feel that you've got the speed to compete, with those factory guys and at the top of the SX3 class?
Yeah, for sure. I when I'm put it all together, I feel like I'm really good, as I've shown in the first 2-3 rounds of Supercross. Motocross is definitely still my strong point for sure, but I feel like Supercross is where I'm at,
Yeah, that's where your passion's
and
at.
I think the teams will really like that. So
Yeah, for sure.
And so, am I correct in saying that you step up to MX2 next year, or do you still?
I age out of MX3 this year.
Yeah, and the plan is to still do all the rounds of nationals and all things like that next year.
That's the plan. Do all the national rounds and Supercross next year and MX2.
Yeah, awesome.
So, will you be staying on with JPM next year for motocross?
Yeah, that is the plan at this point.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, I think he did well with Jed Alsop and Haruki.
Yeah, they had an awesome little team going.
They
Brownie.
They had awesome team going, so we got some things in the works and some things coming up that should be cool.
Yeah, that's sick to see. It's always awesome seeing those little teams that kind of pop up and help us guys get to the races.
Yeah,
and,
it's good. Definitely.
So
as you would get it, Zane, the privateer program's a tough program for sure. So
yeah, it's a hard program.
Them little teams like that are like the backbone of the sport, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Like even I was lucky enough, I'm not on the winner team by any shape or means, but they were not kind enough to take my bike to a couple of Queensland rounds, and even little things like that, it's just night and day, So any of the teams that kind of help out any of the privateers in any way, shape or form, it's just awesome to see.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I can ask you that question as well, Deegan. Every rider I've spoken to, when you ask about the benefits of being on a team, it's about that side of things, the logistics side, so you can just focus on riding. Yeah, so you're not stressed about your accommodation or like whatever, so you can just get there on the day. All you've got to worry about is your riding on the day. You come in fresher, clear of mind. You're not counting every lunch you have and making sure your dollars last.
Yeah, it's definitely a lifesaver, that's for sure.
So, as well as JPM, who supports your program?
Yeah, so I got a few people stepped up for Supercross this year. Obviously, departing Rising Motorsports, we were looking for a few people. We got Finance Kingdom. They've helped out a lot this Supercross season. Filter Kings, Seco Motorsports, Sam Moore from Fist and Force, obviously. He runs the clothing brand and gear brands and all that, so he's been a massive help to my program. We got MX Store. They've been a massive help. So, they help out a lot of privateers for this Supercross season, and I honestly couldn't be racing without them. Got McLeod's Accessories, ATR, and 360 Development's JPM team.
Oh, fantastic, mate. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you can bust out in Melbourne in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, can't wait. Thank you.
All right, 85cc. We won't go too deep into these guys. Blake Bohannon does it again.
That kid is good.
Yep.
Lewis Cannon, shredding. He had a big crash in the heat. Yep. Yeah, because we were walking into the stadium and I seen his dad pushing his bike with the bars, twisted up, and he had dirt all over his helmet and gear, and
I thought that was his night done.
Yeah, he's walking away pretty head down.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was good to see him rebound. Nate Perrott?
Yeah, Nate Perrott. Not the night for Nate Perrott that he would have wanted.
Yeah.
So 15th on the night.
He was up there early.
Yep, and I believe currently sits still second in the championship.
Oh.
But that puts him a 25-point gap behind Blake Bohannon. So he went second at round 1, second at round 2, and then unfortunately got 6 points at round 3.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt for
Nate.
Yeah. So, with only 2 more mains to go for the series, 25 points is going to be a big gap to make up.
Yeah, well, if Blake wins it,
And Blake's got a perfect record so far.
Yeah. And looks like he was jumping that triple in that finish so easy.
Yep.
Like, no ounce of stretch, just, over everything. Just, looks a little bit nicer than the rest of them.
I just can't believe the rise of, like, Blake Bohannon. We spoke about it in the last podcast, so we don't have to go down that rabbit hole again.
But 65 last year.
And now dominating
the 85
the big wheel class. Yeah.
So sick to see.
Yep. Xander Kruik was one I wanted to give a shout out to.
Yeah.
definitely a bad night for him. Blistering speed in the heat. Normally up there, should be contesting for
for the
podiums
win
and race
podiums.
wins. Just not a great night for him, but I think he'll bounce back as well.
Ollie Burkett had a bit of a rough night. He had a big case in qualifying.
Yeah,
Yeah, on that triple.
needs a lawyer.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He apparently missed the shift to third.
Oh, I saw that. Yes. Yeah.
He just ate that down ramp.
Yep. And same as Blake Banich
Oh,
from South Australia. Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
And there's a kid, number 16, on a Husky.
Yes.
I watched, he greased it, and then the next one round, the full bounce on top, both feet off, somehow rode out of it. But
it's kind of feather.
Yeah.
Yep, that was big. Fourth on the night still.
Yeah,
So,
wow, good on him.
Yep. I found with that was such a deceiving jump because when the riders, even like on the big bikes, when they took off on that, some of them looked like they were going to make it, and it was like they go straight up and stall and then just drop onto the down ramp.
It was really weird. It was just a kind of a sharp face, and you kind of want to push through it, and then you kind of just lose way more speed than you thought.
So you just had to hit it quicker than you thought you'd have to hit it? Yeah.
Yeah. But then, like, you'd like get a good drive on lap and you'd land deep and nearly miss the down ramp completely.
Yep.
It was just a little
tricky, bit technical. Yep. We had a couple of mental for moto riders in this class as well. Dylan Gromble.
A lot better night than Redcliffe.
Went out and dominated the LCQ.
Oh.
Yep. Showing some style everywhere.
Yeah.
Got the crowd fired up. Got the commentators or the live announcers fired up.
Yeah.
So that's very cool to see. Blake Banich, unfortunately, just missed out on the main. But again, his first Supercross season.
Yeah.
And he's only, he's a pretty small.
Yeah, young whippersnapper.
Yep. So he's learning every time he goes out there, and he's already looked way better than up
even
in
from start of the day.
Yeah. Yep. So unfortunately, that case was early in the day. Yeah, that was sort of hard to come back from. Yep. Lewis J. Carafa. So first Supercross race. There was something about Lewis that I could not quantify. Every time I watched him, he looked like he was going so fast, like he was ripping.
Yeah.
But the lap times weren't quite there.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether he just didn't put a clean lap together. Or
I don't know. I was happy just to see him leave healthy.
100%.
I know he's had a pretty rough run. So that was a little bit on the back of my mind. He looks like the same thing from the start of the day to the end of the day. 9-day difference. So I'm hoping he can build well into Melbourne. Get a lot more laps down. So but I think he's going to be good. His timing looked really well.
Mate,
as much as he was back
on some of those big jumps.
Yeah, as much as he was on the back end a little bit.
Yep.
Looked a little bit nicer than some of the riders who's around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot nicer. So I think that's a big positive, especially in the 85 class.
Didn't look like it was his first ever Supercross.
No, I think that's a good way to put it.
Yep.
Looks like he'd been there before.
Yep, definitely. All right, well, I think that pretty much does us for the 85s. Before we wind up, any final notes thoughts towards looking towards Melbourne?
Just hopefully, I hope in myself I turn up. I got a good feeling I will. Feeling better, so I'm excited. Always excited for the stadium.
35,000 fans cheering on that fender slap.
Yeah, I just hope scaffolding down ramp is a no-go. That's the only concern, especially with these 85s. Lawrence Brothers made it known they wouldn't race on a metal up ramp, which is why we switched back to dirt last year. I think they're just going to need to put more dirt on it just to get that pop over. So let's see if we have a dirt down ramp or not. I think that might be a small thing to talk about, but yeah, I think that's it.
What didn't you like about it? Is it because of that top transition?
Yeah, and just as
so sharp,
as the up ramp blows down throughout the day because the dirt's soft there, you just lose. Like I was seat bouncing the finish, not because of the distance, just to get up and over that knuckle.
Yep.
And poor Connor Gillett last year just had a nasty crash on. That's like, I guess yes, right to the conditions, but when you go out and the finish up ramp has dropped 3 degrees. You know what I mean? It's hard.
Unforgiving. I mean, there was guys on the 250s and 450s that came up short there and bounced from the top of that
To the bottom.
to the bottom.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Like,
yeah.
you know, yeah.
I remember in Melbourne in 2019 when Bilko framed it, did his collarbone on the first freestyle jump. Like, that thing is so unforgiving. I framed it at 23 Melbourne.
Yep.
Off the metal ramp. That was...
What were your thoughts on the triple last year? Because there was a lot of riders coming up short on that as well.
I liked it. It was just the little rollers before it just caught you off.
Yep.
If you didn't... Because if you got the turn really good, you'd kind of, like, you could get your wheel would kind of come off the ground. And then, like, if you didn't quite downside that roller, it was a bit... But I found it was all right. Flowed well. It's big, though, coming off that 90.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think Melbourne's pretty standard. It's always a great track. Good dirt.
Yeah, the dirt's good there.
Yeah, and it's that bigger size, kind of. So, yeah, get the track down well, and I'm excited. Really excited.
All right, just had a quick look at the track map. So there's a sand section.
Yeah, sand section. Pretty short rhythms. Short.
Yeah, no long rhythms.
Nah.
How does that impact the racing, you think, with the calibre of riders we've got?
It's just...
Is it going to make it closer?
Yes and no. Like, it stops... Like, it's good, but it just feels... It's hard to pass when you have a heap of 90s like that, and it's just short, like, big rhythm you can kind of get next to someone, or when you constantly try and just go inside to small.
Everyone's doing the same rhythms.
Yeah. Like, not that I'm going to be busting out a quad that no one else is going to be doing or something, but I find, yeah, everyone will just be pretty set to a rhythm pretty early, which is kind of good. Like, it makes it easier to get the track down.
Definitely very different from last year.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Curious to see.
how it races.
Yeah.
So,
I think that section after the finish it's either going to be really good or really shit. They're like, it's not going to be, I don't reckon it'll be.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon it's either going to make for great racing or it's just going to be the most one-line sand section ever.
Yeah. It's just a loop.
Yeah. That's like,
sand
why
loop.
would you go outside?
Yeah, it's going to have like two good lines where, no, you're like with a loop though, you can't really go from outside to inside or inside to outside.
Why would you? Why? Because it keeps turning.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. You know, as we know, we can't put too much weight into this because the track maps do change.
Yeah,
they tweak them.
we were probably going to get there and not have a tunnel jump. And
yeah, well, that's what happened up at Redcliffe.
Yeah.
Was it Cronulla?
No, Redcliffe.
Redcliffe, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's meant to be a tunnel jump. Didn't happen. Anyway,
we'll see how we go. Actually, that's one thing. If we're downsiding that tunnel jump, that will be the same tunnel jump that we had Wollongong. That will be an alright down ramp.
Yep.
Steep, but a lot. That knuckle we were just talking about won't be nearly as bad. It's not that big scaffolding.
Yeah, yep. I can't wait, man. For me, like that, being on the floor at Marvel with that crowd, you know, the atmosphere, the ride.
Oh, it's just ecstatic.
Yeah, it's going to be sick.
Yeah.
All right. Did you have anything else?
No, that's pretty much all.
That's it.
Did you have any last words, Pete?
I don't have any last words other than I am absolutely pumped.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm pumped. I think, you know, they've, again, as many gripes as we might have on little things, I think since AME have taken over, this is the best Supercross season we've had.
Yeah.
They're the best tracks we've had.
Yes.
We've had, it's the deepest fields we've had in the last few years.
I think as a whole, it's just getting better.
Yep.
Better.
Yep. And, you know, I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. The only thing I really would like to see now in the grand scheme of things is some of that money
Going back to the Aussie riders.
Yep. Or even just channeled back into purses.
Yeah.
You know, to make it a equitable with other professional level sports.
Yes.
You know, I can't imagine with sold out stadiums that the money isn't there.
Yeah.
To start channeling back into the sport.
Yeah.
And if it's not there, I hope someone rings me and tells me.
Yeah.
You know, how it actually works.
Yeah, let us know.
So, anyway, That brings us to the end of another episode of Between the Rounds. If you like this episode, don't forget to give us a positive review on your preferred podcast platform and make sure you subscribe to Mental for Moto and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Zane, we've done it again, mate. It's after midnight.
Oh, we just love talking moto too much, I swear.
You got to get here on time next time.
Yeah, I'll wear this one. This is mine. Ran a little late.
No, it's all good, dude. I really appreciate you making the effort to come in and have a chat.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No. Shout out to our partners for this episode, Monthangi Motorcycles and Power Equipment, Fastline Suspension, Wolf Building Compliance, and the November sponsors of our motocross and supercross wall calendars, 443 Photography and Moto Cred. If you have a moto brand business or just want to get behind our calendars for next year, shoot me a message or an email and let us know. We'll be doing what we've done the last couple of years and putting a sponsor for every month in the calendar. So without your support, we can't make it happen, and all the money goes towards supporting a bunch of Aussie privateers. All right. Thanks to our guests for this episode, Brandon Steele and Deegan Rose. And most of all, thanks to you guys for listening. On behalf of Mental for Moto, I've been your host, Pete Wolf. Until next time, see ya.